everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show.
So funny, I was like super empowered. I don't think I could sleep.
Still follows the same rules, has the same characters and all that stuff,
yes.
But it just tweaks it a little bit.
You're reading fantasy, and it's so grounded. It's so completely grounded in reality.
Rule clarification, if we both get it wrong, do we get bonus points?
Soldier Simmons, it is my pleasure to now pin you, raising you from the rank of soldier to dedicated.
That didn't happen in the books, but it was awesome.
I nailed it.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. Let me bring you comfort about Egwene. I know you haven't seen her in a month, but let me tell you this story about how badass she is right now.
That fight scene, my boy went through 5 daggers.
Everybody's flower is different. I think we learned that in the books. This is I think for me, top 5 moments ever on screen.
When I read it, I felt empowered. I felt called to action.
One of the best quotes in the whole series is when Gaul says, "Do you like to dance, Baron Abara?"
The Knights Who Say Chill.
AKA the band of really, really nice good guys.
Let a couple more drip on it.
You're retain everywhere.
I am.
Do you have a chaser should you need it?
Can I have a little bit of mine too?
Oh, no.
Yo, this is good.
Like young people do like this now or something instead of this.
Oh, it's like this.
The heart emoji.
You don't jiggle.
It folds. I like the way you wiggle.
You
Oh,
wiggle.
show. We're going to review the entirety of season 1 of the Wheel of Time. The whole thing. Finale of Rings of Power. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show! Hello, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. We are back once again to talk about the Wheel of Time show on Prime Video. All of us are beyond thrilled that we have new episodes coming out every week. Less than thrilled that there are only 3 left.
Ew.
Why not 10 episodes per season? Prime, come on.
Right?
Come on.
I'm already
Just
mad
2
that they're
more.
giving us 3 right at the beginning. I mean,
I
it
know.
shortens the entire season. It's kind of
know.
bullshits.
I know. Stretch it out.
I need the Watt Fantasy League points. I need those extras.
That's what's important here.
Oh my gosh, can I just say, Daymar Spitz says, hi from Australia, tuning in while I'm working. I love that.
What?
Hello
I
and
love
welcome.
it.
I have a feeling you might be the farthest away of all the
Yeah.
people that are watching right now.
Wow.
Feel free to contest that, anyone else. But yeah, that's pretty far away, so
Yeah.
thank you for joining. Okay, so we're here to talk about season
impressive.
3, episode 5 of The Wheel of Time. This one surprised me, and we're going to get into why. But before we get into why, I'm going to introduce our very, very special guest to you. This guest we haven't had on since the trailer Wheel and Chill episode, so we haven't gotten her perspective, unless I'm forgetting, about any of the episodes yet so far. And so I'm very eager to get updates from Cousin Maggie. She is
Yay!
Maggie! She is a show-only watcher. That's right. She's never read any of the books. At my request, we appreciate her sacrifice. She will be reading them eventually, but not while the show's airing, so she can do this. Isn't that right? That's the main motivation.
That's honestly at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
We
And
do
thank
have,
you.
I don't know when you want to do the update, Kritter. The Maggie Rand update.
We can get once we introduce ourselves.
Okay. All right, I just want to make
He's
sure.
ready to go.
I'm
Let's
ready
go.
because
Maggie has a similar opinion about Rand to a lot of the guests that we've had, and we're definitely going to update with her about that. But before we do, we're
Yes.
going to get some introductions out of the way. So you may have seen Maggie before, you may not, if this is your first time on the Wheel and Chill show, or you haven't watched since before the trailer, since after the trailer, before the trailer. Let's not talk about it. Fell Knight Gaming, Canadian $2, not wearing your sunglasses, Kritter. That's a start. Yeah, well, wait until we start talking about that final dream sequence. You better believe your sunglasses are coming on.
Yes.
Anyways, so this is Cousin Maggie. Maggie, tell us how you got into the Wheel of Time show and any fun facts about you that you'd like to share at this point.
Oh, I got into the Wheel of Time because my cousin and my brother read them all growing up. I heard a lot about this like million book series that I was missing out on. But I wasn't super into like reading fantasy growing up, so I didn't read them. But then a couple years ago, yeah, when you were getting really into it and the show started, I started watching the show. Super compelling, and I probably would have started reading the books at that point, but I want to keep myself in suspense since I first experienced it through the show to continue to firstly experience it through the show and then probably go back and read them later. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Nice. I'm really excited,
Nice.
like, not for the show to be over, but once the show has 8 seasons and is completed and we're all, like, much older and wiser to
Right.
have the Maggie's reading the Wheel of Time streams, right? So we can, like,
Oh,
talk, like, now that
Yeah.
she's seen the whole show, let's talk about the books.
Oh my
So
gosh.
everybody, something to
Oh,
look
yeah.
forward to for whenever
The
the
look in
time
her
comes.
eyes, the fear that just shot across her face. was amazing. She said
Take
that.
notes.
Well, we are very, very excited to have you as a show-only fan. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish our introductions, then dive into the episode?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Winespring, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, that's me. I'm Winespring. You can find me on X at Winespring Cafe. And in my article section on my profile, I have recipes that are specifically for Wheel of Time friends. So check 'em out.
Yay!
Yay!
And before Tav introduces himself, as I kind of alluded to this, but we're doing show only for the first hour. There might be
Oh, yeah.
some non-readers in the chat as well as Maggie being on the stream, so please keep the chat to show only spoilers for the first hour. Once we open up the floodgates for full book spoilers, you will know, and I will warn you, and everybody who's non-book people, they can leave. So please do that for me. And I've
Nice.
seen Dana Luhu reminding people in the chat. Thank you for doing that. Okay, Tavern, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ta'veren Tavern, and smash that damn like button. It's
Oh.
right there. Don't forget that too. I am a co-host here with my friends Kritter and Winespring. I also do merch. We do a lot of Wheel of Time merch. You can find that on Redbubble. I've actually put up about three new designs over the last couple of days. So
Woohoo.
go check them out. And that's it. I can't wait. I'm ready. Ready.
Ready. Okay, I am Kritter XD. This is my YouTube channel that you're on. Welcome. If you haven't subscribed, why don't you do that? If you haven't liked this stream in particular, why don't you do that? I am currently doing the Wheel and Chill show Monday nights. I am a co-host, and I also do reaction videos for the episodes as they come out. So if you missed my most recent reaction video, something happens where I end up putting on sunglasses. And it's
Go get him, Goose.
I don't want to like direct you to it because it's a little embarrassing, but at the same time, it's kind of fun. So feel free to check it out.
She has props away from home. What the?
I mean, they're sunglasses. Let's relax. If
they're
you-
like
They were
right there.
identical sunglasses. I didn't get that memo.
well, you should have watched my reaction video. Should have been pretty obvious. Let me just say.
Ah,
I was too busy crying. Okay,
well, we could have cried
right,
together,
yes.
I think is the point that I'm trying to get to. Okay, so what else? Oh, yeah, I'm just all over the internet. I do Wheel of Time TikToks. I do TikToks about other sci-fi fantasy topics. I've got a Discord where we talk about all kinds of stuff. I have a podcast called But Are There Dragons, where me and my lovely ma, Jessica Sadai, we read through all of the Lord of the Rings, well, the Hobbit and the trilogy, and in a couple of months, we're going to come back and start reading something else. So we're about to come back. Get excited. And if you haven't yet listened to our old stuff, you should check it out. The links for all of our stuff, Winespring, me, and Tav, are in the description of this video on YouTube. So you can check all that stuff out. Follow wherever you want to follow. Don't if you don't want to be super cool. And that's fine. Okay, great. We are introduced. Let's talk about Rand. Maggie, you are famous now for your opinions
are.
about our boy, the Dragon Reborn, Rand al'Thor. So, last we heard, whenever we watched the trailer, you were not so enthused about him. How are we feeling now? Is it different in any way? And why based on what we've seen so far in season 3?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't feel like Rand is like totally redeemed himself. I'm not like a total Rand fan now. But I do see, well, first of all, the actor's shown a ton of range. Like last
Yeah.
episode was incredible. And there were like multiple times I had to be like, is that still him? I'm like, no, it's someone else. Like, that's not him. So that was just really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Like
Yeah.
his range, so cool. And seeing like just as a person who doesn't know any of the backstory, or anything that's going on unless it has been shown on the show. That episode and like his sequence did a lot for me as a viewer to see like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense now, or like the no swords thing makes more sense, just things like that. So that was really cool. And okay, he finally did something. That's kind of how I felt about like, oh, he finally did something. Like, I'm still not like he's the best ever, but he like, okay, I see you. You could do something. You could be a thing.
Okay.
It's like the, you know, it's like the waiter that didn't bring you your soda, but at least you stopped by and dropped some napkins off.
Right. That's the exact comparison that I was thinking of.
That was perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that let's see, you had some feelings in the trailer, predictions even, if I recall, about Rand and his romantic future. This particular episode 5, we had some troubling developments involving a certain Forsaken. How do you feel about Rand's romantic prospects at this moment?
It's very difficult. I'm coming to terms with it, but it is difficult. I think what it seems like they're trying to do is like make it seem like a valid option, and like they're giving, what I appreciate is some backstory for him to actually like Lanfear, because before I was like, I don't really get this. Like, she seemed like a distraction, but not like an actual love interest. And then when you get back together with like the original people, then I'm like, well, then why would we keep her around? So I was kind of curious as to how they would keep her around, but it seems like they're giving a more compelling reason for him to at all like admire or find something like good in her as the like ultra good guy. Like you would think that he would need to be able to find something for it to be believable that he would want this person.
Okay.
Right. So I like what they're doing. And honestly, it's not like I think that he and Egwene should like end up together. I just didn't like the duplicitousness that I felt like Rand kind of lived in season 2. Like very, I don't know, not my favorite. So at least now I feel like he could defend an action eventually. That didn't seem really super defendable, but now it seems like we're getting there.
Okay, so he's got this I can fix her complex.
Well, there's that with the, like, whenever
was gonna
she
say
was
it's
like
not
the
that
white
nice.
lady in the tower or whatever.
Okay,
Looking like, I feel like he's seeing more of who she potentially was before, and he's like sees that as admirable, and therefore is, yeah, I guess it is in the end like I can help her get back to that person, because that's the person that I would have a future with.
So do you take Lanfear to be like a stage 5 clinger? Is she giving off that kind of vibe?
Wow.
They do seem to paint her as that. Like all the other Forsakens seem to paint her that way.
They kind of do. And it's not for Rand. I mean, it's technically it's for Lews Therin. Or she thinks is what she's saying, you know? It's just he happens to be inside Rand or something.
Right.
Yeah, it's freaking cool.
So
I love her.
If you had to predict, Maggie, do you think that Rand and Egwene are going the distance, or is this going to make Egwene go the other direction?
I don't know. That's hard. Well, because they seem to be kind of staging her to go a different direction with the whole dreams and the wise ones type of like leadership that they seem to be doing with her, that I'm like, I don't know if Rand makes sense as a big part of that, or if they will kind of split now, maybe come back together way later, or never. I don't know.
Okay, interesting. So
this is a good question.
So wow, the Rand hate, I feel like it's fizzled a little bit. It's not so much hate as it is discontented. Would you say? You're just a little frustrated, but curious.
I'm curious
Did the
to see what he could do.
did the interaction with the children, did that move the needle at all for you?
No, that seems so forced. I hated that so much. When he like in this episode, I was like, "Are you about to go tickle a child you just met?"
No,
I'm sorry, but all of my red flags.
Oh my god!
Go like he's like you show her your arms and then you chase her down a street. This is not normal.
Hello,
I didn't like that.
Hello, I am the molester reborn.
I honestly, I was like, this is not.
It was
They're
weird.
like trying to
It
make
was
this seem
weird.
like a
I
normal
know.
thing that would happen, but in what world?
I will agree
what
that
world?
was
It
a
was creepy.
little goofy. It was goofy.
yeah.
It was kind of not something I expected.
No.
Let's put it that
No.
way.
It was a little surprising. Yeah.
Everybody watching is
a
like,
little different.
Avienda's kind of like, oh, and Egwene's like, what a cutie, and I'm over here like,
I'm like, where's
what?
the parent?
Yeah.
Is this girl's parent somewhere? Yeah, no.
Well, the grandparents were standing right there.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird, and he kind of said something to the other kids because the other kids kind of followed him too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Chased
Like
after him.
2 or 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the
Mhm.
interaction with him and the little girl again about the whole squash thing.
Yeah.
That just looked forced as hell. Oh, it was perfect.
Zeus said it was supposed to
little
be
bit much.
cute, but it came off creepy. I think I
Yeah.
agree that. I think we
Yeah.
all here agree. In the chat, did you guys find it cute or was it more creepy? Let us know. Let us know, cute or creepy. Cute or creepy.
You also wonder if he couldn't say like, let's play tag, he couldn't. I'm like, you don't have a kind of an in to how we could normalize this culturally, probably. So I get it
Oh yeah.
that they're trying to tell us that he's like, that the kids have always looked up to him, or it's like Santa Claus showing up, but at the same
Oh,
time,
I like that. Yeah.
I'm like,
Uh-huh.
you could have made up a weird hopscotch game. I didn't I don't care about it, but you could have done something to make this more normal. Anyways.
Also, yeah, I feel like the fact that he's not only the Dragon Reborn, but the Kara Karn, and like a man who can channel, him being like, rawr, for some kids would be like nightmarish because men who can channel are supposed to be terrifying.
I think the consensus is in. Oh wait, Arosa says I disagree. Not creepy, just playful.
Playful. Okay.
Ah.
Goofy, but,
Well,
but
good.
Alex
Not
Lobo said
creepy.
it was kind of goofy, but I don't give a damn about
Endearing.
Rand. So
Not creepy, just misplaced.
okay.
Huh? Interesting.
Random and awkward is a good way to phrase it, Terracin.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was like when it happened. I was like, okay, cool.
Like immediately online, it was like, what just happened? It
Oh,
was
see,
weird.
I stay off the internet because
Yeah.
I can't watch until like the next night, and so I'm like, for a lot of the initial reactions, I have no idea what people are saying. So, anyways, interesting Rand developments. So I guess I episode 4 for me is my favorite of the season so far. That was the one before this, the one where they were in Ruedion. Maggie, how would you rate the episodes? Or like, do you have a high, or do you have like a couple of favorites, or are you not sure?
I feel like we came out of the gate really hot.
Yeah.
That was such a good
All right.
first episode. Like, so much happened, so much development, but also just like being introduced to the scenery for the season, like all of that. It was super magical. Like I felt like I was like going back and watching like The Lord of the Rings again. I don't want to get any, like, I'm not making a statement here, but like that's
Yeah.
the type of feeling, that you had was like, oh, you're experiencing something for the first time, and it was really, really cool. And I really liked episode 4, but I as a person who's only watched the show, like didn't totally get it.
Yeah.
Like there were
Right.
things that I'm like, I bet this is really way cooler than I know, but
Yeah.
like I'm here for what I know. But I bet there were like things going on that I didn't really totally get.
Yeah.
I thought this last episode was good.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily can't delineate between 2 and 3, probably.
Honestly, me either. Let's be honest. I mean,
okay.
because I watched them like back to back, so I don't know if you did the same, but for me,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
kind of whoop.
Like
Like
first 3 were a blur.
Elaine's mom and Elaida show up, and then Elida's doing some stuff, and that's kind of like
Right.
that's episodes 2 and 3. So number
I
one,
did love, of course, I loved the Matt Cawthon fight. I loved that.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was so good.
okay,
I don't know which episode that was in, but
3.
that moment,
one I
and
remember.
mostly, mostly Nynaeve's reactions to the whole thing was just so good. I loved that.
What
How
you
did
say?
you
I think
feel-
everybody's into that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was.
Well, that was the
such a
Galad
good
Gawain
line.
That
fight,
was the
but
one
yeah,
before that
Yeah.
too, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
those were both really good.
How did you feel being introduced to the two new Forsaken
Oh.
in the cold open for episode 3.
Confused. I was confused by that one guy. Like, can he change everyone's memory, or does he
Ooh.
just give the like? I don't feel like I got enough information there either. You know, where it's like, did he make everyone think this, or did he just convince people that this was like a secret tryst for 10 years? Or did he step in the place of someone? Does he look like himself, or does he look like someone whose position he stole and killed? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I love your
I
questions.
didn't know you were a reporter.
about
I did not know that you were a reporter.
Such good
Holy
questions. Because
Wow.
Maggie,
I'm a therapist.
my first instinct with him was that he was using a mask of mirrors, which is when they change their face, right? You can like channel to look different. That's what I thought at first. It's like he killed somebody and he's taken his place, because like how else? But it turns out in the cold open, we find out that he's actually using compulsion. So he is actively like channeling to make everyone around him believe that they have been together for 10 years when he's only been around for a month. How insidious is that?
Yeah,
That's a pretty tangled web.
Yeah, that's an incredibly creepy. The whole season has just been weird with that kind of stuff.
Like,
but yeah, that's everyone. Everyone that sees him immediately thinks that. Now, the cool thing about that is in season 2, I mean, I don't know if you could talk to Kritter or other people that are watching the show or that were book readers, when Swan does the same thing to Moiraine at the end of the season, and everybody was up in arms about it because it was like, oh, that's so disturbing.
Where she says, like, close the gate, Moiraine.
Yeah, she forced her to close the gate. So, and everybody was freaking out about that because that was disturbing. Wow, she took over her mind. And now we get this season, and this guy can do it to everyone that sees him.
At the same time. And don't we know that Lanfear did that? Because to get the signing of the book or whatever, they were like, doesn't this handwriting look like someone under compulsion, right?
Or Leandrin.
Or Leandrin.
Yeah, they talk about it.
That was a good memory.
Yeah, really good. That's a good pull.
Nice.
So it's not necessarily something, it's a channeling ability, but not like necessarily to a specific...
Yeah, it's a channeling ability. It's different. The way he's doing it in the show is a little different than how they do it in the books. Like, he's extra powerful at it in the show, basically. Like, doing it to that many people all at once is like wild power.
Yeah, terrifying.
Also, in season 2, what Swan did to Moiraine wasn't actively channeling compulsion. She was taking advantage of the oath that Moiraine had taken on the oath rod. So Moiraine swore to obey Swan, and you had to follow it. And so Swan gave her a command she had to follow. So it's like,
that's what I figured was happening.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that it could be compulsion.
Yeah, it's a similar thing,
right?
But like I said, I think that what I was trying to get is the emotion that everybody felt at it happening. You know, just taking over somebody's will and forcing them to do something against their will.
He did it by a lot more.
Yeah,
an entire. I mean, think about it. It's an entire kingdom.
Well, that makes
whoever sees him in it, anyways.
I sometimes don't like when those things are added in, because then I'm like, he could be changing everyone's memory of anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those. It's sort of like whenever they
scary layers,
like enter like dreams and like other things. I'm like, when I don't, as the viewer, know what to trust, that makes that kind of hard. But
okay, let's talk about that though.
Yeah,
this episode was called the transition. You've really nailed that. This episode's called Ta'veren Tavern, which means the world of dreams in the old tongue. We find out that Egwene has a bit of a talent that has not been found in the tower in a very long time, but the Aiel wise ones are pretty adept. Some of them are, at least. You don't have to be a channeler to be a dreamwalker. And Egwene
do you have to be female?
No,
like they didn't. Okay, I didn't know about that one.
Well, they didn't say, but no, we can.
But I'm assuming since you don't have to be a channeler, you don't have to be.
No, you don't. And because, like, for example, we saw Ishamael in past seasons in the World of Dreams also. So I guess, like, what is your impression of the capabilities of someone who's in the World of Dreams? Or, like, I guess if you were to go into the World of Dreams, if that was possible, like, what would you be doing? What do you think you could be doing?
I don't think I totally understand. I know I don't totally understand the World of Dreams stuff.
Okay.
Like, I don't get it. Because they
Oh.
kept saying, like, you're not in their actual dreams, you're here
Okay.
or something, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then when she went to, like, Parent and, like, Nynaeve and all the people's,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming dreams. And then, like, in Nynaeve's, it didn't seem like she could see her. Because she was, like, talking and she wasn't.
She couldn't. I don't think she could, because she even called her and Nynaeve didn't
Right.
respond.
So then I'm like, how do they have to, like, let you in their dream? But then that wouldn't make sense because she wouldn't have let Lanfear in her dreams. So I'm, in general, very confused.
So I mean, the way, and this is how it helped me to understand it in the books, because you have dreams and then you have the the world of dreams. You would think, oh, they're one and they're not, right? So the way I think about it is sleep and deep sleep, or just sleep and then REM sleep, right? When you're in REM, you're physically kind of doing stuff, not real, but you know what I mean. It's just a deeper version of the dream. When you're dreaming, you're just passing and you're having your normal dreams. But when you go into like a deep sleep, you're physically in there and you can manipulate things, and that's what Egwene is doing, and that's how it helped me kind of put it all together. I don't know if that helps or not.
And let me just piggyback off of that. So Teleron Riod is it's like an entirely separate dimension, essentially. Like, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's like the spirit world, and there's like other worlds, if you might remember. Teleron Riod is the world of dreams. So you can physically transport yourself there, or you can access it while you're dreaming if you have the talent, or you can accidentally touch it while you're dreaming, very briefly, and you won't actually know you're there. So in Teleron Riod, it's basically like a mirror reflection of the actual world, but obviously it's less populated because not many people are there at any given time. You can travel around as you saw Egwene do, right? She transported herself from the Damani cages to the waste during episode 2 or something. Maybe episode 1. No, it doesn't matter. So there's that element, right? So Teleron Riod is its own little thing. We also have people's dreams, which Egwene was accessing. So one thing a Dreamwalker can do, which you kind of got a taste of in this episode, was a Dreamwalker can locate people's dreams, especially people that they know well. It's like easier for them to do it, and they can go into the dreams. Now, the ethics of that are questionable, right? Because if you could just go spy on people's dreams, that's a little creep-tastic. And the wise ones would inform Egwene of that if we got all of the lessons, obviously, from the page. And so if you're in somebody else's dreams, they have a lot more control over like what happens. So you can kind of get like sucked into people's dreams and be completely out of control until you wake up, which is kind of, risky. And that's all I've kind of got. If you die in Teleron Riod, like they said in the show, you die in real life because it's like that real. And
if you die in someone else's dream?
I'm trying to think. I don't think in the books you die.
I think they in the show, I think they said it's when you're in
Teleron.
Even if you accidentally step into Teleron Riod and you die there, then you don't wake up. Yeah, you're done.
So what do you do there?
Teleron Riod.
So, if no one else is there unless they're there, but there's not often people there.
So because it's a reflection of the real world, for example, think about what you could do if you were a spy. Think about like rifling through people's papers. Think about, looking for something that you want to locate. Stuff like that.
So all objects are there, but people aren't there.
Mm-hmm. And the more ephemeral the object is, the more like the object might move, like, so if it's like a briefcase, right? In Teleron Riod, it might like shift around to different locations in the dream. But
yeah, like Grandpa's chair that never leaves from the corner.
That's going to be there. That's going to be there.
100%.
So like a statue in a courtyard, that's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of depends.
Okay.
Yeah. And you'll get more of this, but Teleron Riod is very will based. So how you saw Egwene like accidentally change her clothes, it's because her mind kind of strayed and she was thinking about defending herself, right? And so then like she armored up kind of accidentally. But
beautiful.
So what
armors.
happened in the first one with she did that and then she like went to Lanfear or whatever?
So I think she was. This, I believe, is Tarvalon. It looked like the city of Tarvalon, if I'm not mistaken. So I think she just went to Tarvalon as like a maybe she had a stray thought and she was thinking of the city, or she was testing out how to move around about in Ta'veren Tavern, and that was the place she landed. And Lanfear came to her. Like, if you're good at Ta'veren Road, you can find people that are in there too. So that's...
Can I mention? I just thought of something when you were talking about that, because she did end up in Tarvalon, but she ended up in Tarvalon, a very specific place, and it just dawned on me that maybe she thought of Elaine and Nynaeve, and it took her to the last place because they're traveling, which was the freaking harbor.
Yeah, she was in North Harbor. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to guess that might be what happens. She thought of Egwene and Nynaeve, and she popped up at the last place they were in Tarvalon, because that's the last place she knew that they were there.
That's interesting. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I assume that the more characters spend time in Ta'veren Road, the more the rules will become second nature to you. And that's the way it was for the readers, like book readers too.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't tell if it was that room. Like, I didn't know that it was the whole world over, like the spiritual realm, or, I don't think I understood that.
Yeah.
But I could have just missed it, probably that.
I don't know that they've really like fully described it as like a mirror copy of, the real world. So that's totally a fair thing to have missed.
And to be fair, I mean, what Kritter was saying, it's a mirror copy of the world because buildings are always there because they don't move. So it's just it's like you're walking the real world, because in the dream world, those places are there because they're solid. They don't, they're not ephemeral. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that helps. We're here.
He's about to run away.
I know. No, it's Ta'veren Road is one of the, in my mind, like coolest parts of the Wheel of Time books, just because the rules are like so interesting. You don't have to be a channeler to be absolutely amazing as a Dreamwalker. So it's just interesting to check out. So speaking of the dream sequence, everyone makes fun of me. They don't make fun of me. They sympathized and empathized with me from my reaction video, because I literally wept for the world to see on my YouTube channel. So did you cry, or which one of the little dream sequences did you like the best? If no tears were shed.
Yeah, I didn't cry.
That's okay.
I thought that was interesting that some were like future and some were past. I thought that was like an interesting take, or maybe not past, but like Nynaeve's, that was interesting. And then one was present, I guess. But yeah, I liked Matt's, but it was so hard because we know that his mom just died, and I was like, well, this is
that
and
sucks.
how come they keep slipping, like they slick his hair back, and then you're supposed to just think he's like this grown-up person, and then he like doesn't have a mom. I'm like, man, and he's obviously mature now. Just look at his hair, and his mom's not there to see it. Like that was sad. I think, yeah, it was really interesting. Her just like taking a look into each one, and I think that raises a lot of questions for like friendship wise. Like, would you be like, maybe not, maybe
stay out of my dreams,
Maggie? This is going to define who you are as a person to me.
Wow.
Was there as much hurt and sorrow when Hopper appeared on screen?
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yes, yeah. I love Maggie. Maggie,
great reaction.
That was and you knew it. At first, I was like, "Oh, he made a new friend," and then I was like,
"Nope,
it's gonna be Hopper." Yeah, no, that was. But then there's a part of me that's like annoyed because we all knew that Perrin had a crush, and I'm like, why do you have to like make it so obvious that now, like we know, But I don't know. That was weird.
From the dream.
Because Fael showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, she doesn't even know who this chick is, and she already knows that her friend likes him. Like, let a guy tell you himself, Like, I just didn't. I didn't like. I think there were parts of it that I was like, this does feel sort of intrusive.
Very.
Even though she doesn't know what she's doing and all the things, and at the same time.
I feel like it was intentional though, because she like went to each of their dreams like in lockstep, as if she's like just checking up. And I'm like, although I'm not sure, because it's interesting, she's still a novice at this, right? She's accepted, but she's a novice dreamwalker, and like she tried to speak to Nynaeve and it didn't work, right? So is that because she's not good enough yet to be able to like fully manifest in the dream? Like we'll figure that out as time goes on, how the show is going to handle that.
She wholeheartedly on purpose went to everybody's dream.
Yeah, I think that was on purpose.
It was not accidental.
But she did try to alert Nynaeve to her presence, at least for the first one.
She did, but I mean, it gets to the point where is her intrusiveness, like, does it... She can't even be angry about the Rand one. She has no...
Oh, because she shouldn't even be there.
Right, because she shouldn't be either one. Now, granted, it was Lanfear, and I get the whole anger thing with Lanfear, but she shouldn't have been there.
I do think it, like, in these movies, do people, or not, in the books, do people just not have nonsense dreams of, like, washing machines that can talk and, like, weird, you know what I mean? I'm like...
No, they're all prophetic.
What are the odds that everyone was having a really serious, like, dream, and... Can you trust them? Is anyone culpable, like, for what they do in them? But it seems like in this, dreams mean more than they do obviously to us. But does that make all dreams mean more? I don't know. I think it's interesting.
The only one from the books that I remember having weird dreams was Loyal, and that was when he was editing his work. No, I'm kidding. That's not a real thing.
It's interesting, yeah. Like I would love for Egwene to access a dream and have it just be like, you know, my dreams where I'm getting pursued by velociraptors and have to climb trees to avoid them, you know.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Wild.
Nobody else has the velociraptor dreams? No?
No.
Okay.
Not exactly like that, no.
It's fine. Oh my gosh, looks like the stream is doing really wonky, which is sad.
Yeah, people were saying that they had to keep resetting or going out and coming back in. And...
I'm doing my best over here, and by that I mean
I think you're fine. You don't have any storms going on, do you?
No.
It's been wild weather, yeah.
So might just be a Streamlabs thing. I apologize. Anybody's experiencing technical difficulties. We are also over on Twitch. It might be the same over there, or it might not. So let me know if you head over, whether it is.
I have a question for the three of you, actually.
Okay.
So, Egwene, right, starts dreamwalking. She immediately gets the hell out of there, ends up in Tarvalon, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was Lanfear doing there? Any ideas? Anybody have theories? Well,
I think I just said my theory, which was that Lanfear was hunting Egwene.
Oh, you think she was tracking her down?
Yeah. 100%. Egwene is in her domain, and she's not having it.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Disagreed?
I was thinking about because of the stuff that we saw in the teasers and the trailers. Maggie, have seen the teasers and trailers and all that stuff? You saw the trailer because you were here.
I saw the one for next episode.
No. I'm talking about from the beginning of the show.
She literally came on to talk to us about the trailer.
I know that. But,
I probably don't remember it very well. But
well, there's stuff that was in the trailer that we haven't seen in the show yet.
I've seen it.
I don't want to get too crazy, but there were a couple of shots that people discussed where Lanfear looked like she was in Tarvalon. Now, whether it was in the real world or in the world of dreams, I don't know. That's the only reason I was asking if anybody had thought that.
Oh, I do have a question. Are we assuming that she has been making her have those dreams of
Rena?
Of her abuse? Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's
Are
been...
we assuming...
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I think
tormenting her.
She's the one who's been beating Egwene in her dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because I know they were saying like, oh, if it's happening, they're still alive or whatever.
Right.
And okay.
That's Lanfear disguising herself as someone else, unfortunately.
Which all the Forsaken can just do.
Well, especially in the world of dreams, because you can do whatever. Anybody can do it. If you've got the will, you've got the way in Ta'veren Tavern. If you're experienced enough, you can make yourself look different. You can change your clothes. You can do whatever. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Okay, so we talked about Tel'aran'rhiod. We haven't yet talked much about Perrin and Alana and Maxim and their rescue efforts. So anything stand out for you from the Two Rivers plot, right? The White Cloaks have Matt's sisters and mom captured. They go do the rescue thing. Alana and Maxim are having a little bit of a tiff. What how'd you feel about that plot?
It was super interesting, but I think we got a lot more information in this episode. Like, I liked whenever she was like, I came here because you're not enough. Like, I need, and I know that that's like a harsh thing to say, and at the same time, I think for the viewers, like seeing, oh yeah, you're right, and then seeing one of the Cawthon's channel and like seeing that, you're like, oh, there is like a lot of strength in the Two Rivers, and we think it's that the strength left the Two Rivers, but maybe like there's still a lot there to be had for good. So I've liked that so far. I think it's interesting, like, I always hate good guys fighting against good guys, or like, you know, people who could be allies just choosing to not be. So it was hard to see, like, in that, see Perrin feel responsible for deaths, and then the other guy feel kind of the same way of like, I didn't used to be. Whenever he said that, I was like, oh, that's a hard word, but yeah.
Dane is so far on the show, Dane is turning out to be a really complicated character.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Also, can we just say that the harshest damage in the show thus far across all 3 seasons is a pissy freaking Aes Sedai. No, we are not equals. River trash.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. And then she goes, you are not enough. Man, that's emotional damage on a level that's not called for. It's pretty rough stuff.
The 3 oaths don't say you can't throw sick burns around.
I mean, when Elaida said river trash, I honestly thought Swan was going to jump out of that chair.
Swan is like the embodiment of when you go low, I go high. At least
she's incredible.
She definitely did that this season with Elaida. Okay, so yeah, the old blood runs deep in the Two Rivers, so it was really good to see one of Matt's sisters channel. It was really freaking sad. Yeah, Did you expect his mom to die?
No. No, probably not.
Yeah.
That was hard to see. That they were like so quick and unrelenting in punishment for what ends up to be nothing. Like,
right. She didn't actually do it.
Right.
It was sad. It was sad.
It was sad.
Okay, so
oh my gosh, I loved. Sorry, I have one.
Go.
The Lan and Moiraine moment.
Yes.
He was like, "Are you gonna die tonight? Can you sit and have a drink with an old friend?" I was like, oh, "That's like so real and so good."
Yeah.
And yeah, I really, really liked that.
I liked that it was a kind of a callback to the conversation he had with Melindra, where he asked her what she missed the most, I guess, of Malkier, and she said the laughter. And that's exactly what Lan brought to Moiraine as she's sitting there saying, yeah, I'm not going to be around or whatever, or I'm not going to be at the last battle. And it was just amazing. Yeah, it was really cool.
So yeah, we didn't talk much about episode 4 and Moraine's experience, and we got the aftermath of that experience in this episode, right? She believes, based on what she's seen, that she's not going to be there at the last battle, that for Rand to live, she has to die. Where are you at? Do you think she's misinterpreting, or do you think this is legit?
They keep like throwing in little, but not always, and like it's the same with what's her name's little premonitions.
Min.
He's like,
Min.
Yeah, but you're not always right, and I'm like, maybe Rand's not the Dragon Reborn after all. Like maybe you're wrong about all of it. Like I believed you. And
maybe it was Hopper.
Yeah, like I don't know what to believe. I seem to think that
They
I
are
don't
leaving
know.
a
All
lot
I
of
know-
open-ended paths.
They are. And she's giving such strong Gandalf vibes to me this season. Moiraine
Okay.
is the
Oh,
floppy
yeah.
hat, the
Yes,
outfits,
the floppy
all of it. That I'm like, she's gonna die and come back. Like I would not be surprised.
Moiraine the
If
White is
she-
gonna come back.
Yeah,
In the white.
yeah. She
Okay.
changes and is
Okay.
back in.
But
the-
it has to be the same floppy hat, just white.
Yeah, no, of
It
course,
just has to be the same hat.
naturally.
1,000%
Yeah.
White. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
I
that's
just think it's
hilarious.
so hard. Like they've both given up so much that like it just seemed like the episode to me was both of them admitting like we gave up our whole lives for this thing that we might not get to see.
Yeah.
And like her realizing, and I asked you to give up Nynaeve to, like watch me die maybe, and I am not going to be like we alone can't do this, which I think is what probably the entire book series teaches everyone, right? But it seems like they're realizing that so early, and it's like we kind of are getting to watch them grieve that like premeditated grief,
Wow.
So it's been interesting.
Look at you. You
Yeah.
got the book thesis locked
Yeah.
down
Oh,
already.
haven't read it.
No, I
I've
know.
made it
It's
up.
interesting. It's interesting.
That would be a good paper for a doctorate.
The hats and how they
Yeah.
change color. We've got somebody in the Twitch chat saying, "Oh my god, where'd they go?" It skipped ahead.
Where'd it go?
Siderian and on Twitch saying she's got to get in a fly, you fools, before she gets out.
Why you fools? That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
My gosh, we've got some gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Let's see.
right.
Joe White, once again, gifting some memberships. We appreciate you, Joe. It's this Moiraine is Gandalf talk. I totally understand. That would inspire your generosity. Thank you. Yeah, so okay, we're digging Moiraine and Lan's relationship. I do love that she confided in him this time, whereas like in season 2, she was closed-mouthed. Right, Tavern, you saying something?
No, I was gonna say, since we're on Moiraine and Lan, what do you think's going on with Moiraine and her white sphere of voodoo or whatever?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Nice.
I really liked watching that sequence, but
That
at
was
the same
cool.
time, I was like, "Is this a Pippin grabbing the little
Palantir.
thing? What are we doing?" I didn't really know what was going on, and it
That's
didn't
pretty
seem
funny.
like. Did she tell Lan what it was, or did she answer a question with a question?
She has not answered questions this episode. Several questions she did not finish. What is it, Moiraine? And I have 2 things I know for certain. Here's one of them.
Oh yeah, she didn't say the last.
It's like,
It was so good.
Oh yeah, when Swan was like, "Don't do that, Moiraine," I was expecting her to be like, "What's the second one?" But instead,
Yeah,
they had
nope.
to.
Nope.
You can't leave me hanging like that, guys.
It was
Yeah.
so funny.
Okay, so we're not sure what the Sakarnan is just yet, other than something that creates big channely weaves, which we saw, which
Beautiful
was
weaves.
really cool. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, how do we feel about the girl, Melindra, who keeps chatting with Lan? What are her vibes for you?
I have no idea. I'm like, are they trying to do a spin-off of Lan's history here? Like, I have no clue. I don't really get it.
Okay.
So yeah, she seems suspicious, but I think, well, it's kind of more of the same of like, all these people think they're out for the greatest good,
Yeah.
but their goods seem to be competing. And so I'm like, she's trying maybe to motivate Lan to like go back and reclaim his homeland and like do all those things. And it's like, yeah, that could be the greatest good if the Dragon Reborn stuff wasn't going on. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It seems
There's more important shit happening, but
yeah, that's
I
kind
like your
of
vibe.
what it seems like. I'm like, you're trying to get him to do a side quest, but he's on a real quest. So I don't really know what you want out of Lan.
I mean, this is the Wheel of Time, not the Witcher. All right.
Yeah, we gotta focus up, guys. We gotta
Right.
focus up. Although I love how Maxim was like, "Alana, why are we on this side quest?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, like, you drug me up, turn up.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that line.
but then Alana's like, no, this is the quest. I'm doing the
Right.
quest. This is for the last battle. So, Winespring, do you have any questions for Maggie? I feel like I've been kind of
Yeah,
capitalizing.
have we talked about Siuan and Moiraine yet directly with Maggie and what?
Not directly, I don't think.
No.
Let's on the stream. Okay, so we had them reunite in the dream, and we saw some affectionate moments. Were you like surprised? Were you taken back by that, or did you kind of see that eventually happening after their what looked like almost a breakup?
Oh. Yeah. No, I didn't. I guess I wasn't super surprised by that. I think they both carry a lot, and they both admit that they are in it together, but they have their own piece that they have to do to like accomplish their part. And so it makes sense that that's really confusing.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you feel like the other person is against you. So yeah, I don't think I was necessarily surprised. I think I was like, in the Wheel of Time, is there reincarnation? Do they talk about that? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that just seems completely out of the blue. I wasn't expecting, like,
Oh, okay.
I just didn't know anything about that yet. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know how Rand is a reincarnation essentially of the dragon,
Yeah.
Right.
like Lews Therin. That happens with everyone.
Yeah.
They just kind of like they die and then eventually
They're
get
in a wheel.
spun back out through the pattern. Yeah, it's times
There was
a wheel.
actually in season 1 there was a really sweet scene with Rand and Tam where Rand was explaining Beltane and hanging the lanterns, and it was to bring the spirits of the deceased back to the pattern or back into the It was really cool.
But that was
cool.
2 seasons ago. So
Yes,
you know.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, I appreciate it.
If she wants to watch it,
It's a
again.
good reminder. It's a good reminder. David
So
Bianco.
the Siuan Moiraine.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say
please.
thank you, David Bianco. An R, I don't know what that is. $2, $2 dollars. Varen Mathwin Aja and Shiriam Bayanar ? I'm not sure what you're asking. But thank you. And also just a reminder to everyone in the chat, since I haven't said it in a while, we are keeping this show only, no book spoilers for now. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Was that Sheriam with a question mark? Was that what was asked?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the question was. But if
Okay.
you want to
I know there's
clarify,
jokes going around like, where is she? You know? So I don't know if maybe this person's alluding to that, like, where's Sheriam this whole season?
Oh, yeah.
She's on
maybe?
vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
She's just not.
I don't know. That's a good. Yeah, they haven't brought her up. There's a Dana Lou had a question as well, but are we still talking? This is about Swan, I guess.
I did. I had kind of a follow-up question for
Yeah,
Maggie.
Winespring,
go
let
for
it
it
go.
then.
So in the Swan Moiraine moment, we see them kind of engage in a little bit of like, you're doing a great job, Moiraine, but as Swan, I have failed, at what I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
And then we hear talk and we see Swan in the tower with Elaida and kind of that little side story happening over there. What are you picking at that they're putting down on the show with Swan and Elaida?
Oh.
Elaida's
They,
the one
like,
that smells like
competed.
roses.
It's a really
Yeah,
good
they
question.
competed.
Okay.
The roses thing, I'm sorry, I just make a lot of comparisons. I couldn't get the whole President Snow and like all of that out of my mind. I'm
I
like,
think
is
that
this
was
woman
well done.
dying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is she
Yeah.
trying to like cover up her sick disease? So every time they
Shaking
talked
and
about that,
stuff.
Oh.
She's sick, all right. I don't know. I have no
Okay.
clue.
So they competed to be the Amerlin. I don't know how the Amerlin seat necessarily happens, or if it's a like Pope succession thing, or if it's like a every 10 years elected type deal. But
It's like the
it
Pope.
seemed
Yeah.
like they
A lot closer to that. Yeah.
competed to be that, and that made honest. Like immediately, I was like, "Oh, she's a bad guy." Then, but then this episode, it seemed like they were trying to maybe say she's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then I thought maybe that girl who holds the staff and clanks it on the ground is the real bad guy. But I'm not. I haven't committed to that.
Liana.
I get that
Why
concern.
not?
I mean, she has a lot of rage. We saw the staff.
She had a
being-
lot of rage.
Yeah.
Also, the shift in her eyes when she was like, "It's Elaida," and the other one was like, "Well, we don't know," and she hit her with logic, and her eyeballs went.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
She's very
I didn't know
expressive.
that eyeballs could move that way.
Yeah, I don't pick up on anything else other than that she like was judgy about her affection for Moiraine, and that seems. I mean, and if Moiraine thinks she's not going to make it to the last battle and she's like about to die, I feel like there's a pretty compelling argument for reconciliation, it would seem.
So has this plot, the Varen, Lyanna, Swan, Elaida trap plot, has this convinced you that Elaida is not a dark friend?
Oh, good question.
That's a good question too.
I did not know that was up for debate.
They were trying to like, if she goes and she if she goes, what did they say?
If she went and rescued them, if she went and
rescued them, then she would be a dark friend. So they were trying to get her to like know where they were to see if she would go rescue them, essentially.
Or if she showed up and killed them to keep them quiet.
To keep them quiet, right?
Yeah, it was a weird.
That was the plot. That was the plot.
Well, because the interesting thing was that she immediately, when Siuan walked in, she's like, "You set this up," and I'm like, "So you knew it was a setup?" And then that makes me think, if I knew it was a setup, I'd have myself almost murdered too, so that I didn't seem suspicious. So, right? Like,
maybe it was her gray man.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how a gray man works, but maybe that's.
I don't know how a gray man works.
Well, we know that Moghedien is the only
group,
Forsaken who can make them, but who knows? Moghedien could assign, the gray men to obey people. We're not sure, so it could be. Elaida could have had that gray man assigned to her for all we know. So we're not sure yet whether she's a dark friend. That's that's what we're saying.
It didn't completely convince me otherwise, because you feel like it has to be somebody powerful. It's not just going to be some random like guy in a library. They're like, oh, it's her all along. Like, it's going to be somebody we know. And I keep thinking it's the brown, the one whose sister, that one, but it wouldn't be that one. Yeah, it wouldn't be that one.
Okay.
And then I keep thinking, well, then maybe it's the lady with the staff. But yeah, I feel like she's more compelling to me right now as the bad guy that's left.
I love that you're looking for it.
Yeah,
looking for who it is while watching. That's great.
I know, and then it's probably like 10 of them, and I had no chance.
It's actually everyone. Everyone's a dark friend.
Yeah.
I should have predicted that.
Okay, nice. All right, so we haven't really talked about our Tanchico friends. How did you enjoy or not the boat ride with the sea folk?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, this is also my worst nightmare. Like, throwing up, the person just like mansplaining everything. I'm like, I need to be in a different room than this room. I don't blame him for just being like, yeah, nope.
Matt pieced out. Elaine was lecturing. Nynaeve was throwing up. Nobody wants to be there.
It had to smell terrible on that boat.
Oh God! Why would you say that? Why would you bring up the smell?
Like the moment it happened, he ran to a window, and it just didn't help. He couldn't get out.
Yeah, 2 weeks, he said, right? 2 weeks they've been in there. Are you kidding?
It's a long time.
No chance.
That's a really long.
They waited way too long to get out of that room.
Yeah, 12 hours.
Yeah, max.
Yeah. So,
that was interesting though. The whole like wind, whatever
finders,
where they're like, doing that. It seemed very interesting, and I think it's cool to see the way that the tower is perceived by different peoples.
Yeah,
that it's like some people want to use it, benefit from it. Some people like fear it. Some people don't trust it and want to keep their people away from it. I think it seems pretty interesting the way that we're seeing it through different like communities.
I'm glad you picked up on that because I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Fell Knight Gaming, $2 Canadian, says I would like to coin Elaine-splaining. And David Bianco, thank you for the $5 from Brazil, I believe is what you said. Moiraine, Damadred, and Latra Pose de Cume. I actually don't know how to pronounce that last name. De Cume?
I don't know. I think I responded to him in Portuguese. Google Translate for the win. I think he was asking if, since we were talking about reincarnation, if we think that Moiraine might be Latra. I've heard a couple of other people say this online. I'm not. I don't.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's not a thought that I have, but I mean, I've seen it in a couple of places. But I
Okay.
think that might be what he's asking.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
That would be neat. I would be into it. So yeah, the sea folk, they're a little skeptical of the Aes Sedai. They don't really want to engage with them. Fair, I think, in some ways. Like, would you, if you were a channeler and you could control your channeling, right? You weren't at risk. Would you want to be a member of the White Tower, or would you rather be like a freelance channeler?
Freelance. That's the best.
Yeah.
Freelance.
I don't know, because it almost seems like they see the White Tower to a lesser extent, but the same way as what were those people who took Elaine last season?
Shanchan?
Or
Oh, the
Egwene
Shanchan.
last season.
The
Shanchan.
Shanchan.
Yeah, like they see it similarly, that they want to control, and like I think it all comes back to control. They have a tower too. All the things seem relatively similar, and so I wonder. I don't. I don't
One
know.
requires that you like swear oaths, and we're not so sure about that with the Windfinders. You might just have more freedom with the power that you have.
Yeah, and like, can they just leave? Can they like? It seems like they're kind of changing some of the rules for Nynaeve and those ones. It seems like,
Yeah.
but I don't actually know enough to know if this is as irregular as it seems. Like, if it was a regular year and we didn't just find the Dragon Reborn, would they be just on a ship right now, or would they
Right.
Be at
be
the
doing
tower.
years of study and doing like all those
Yeah.
things? So I think it's a lot to commit to if you don't trust the person that heads it, and if that person can change just on
Mm-hmm.
a whim.
Yeah.
There was something that the Wave Mistress said to Nynaeve that I thought was really interesting when she says there are many different ways to channel and different ways to be a woman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
I
I
loved it.
think to me it was almost like there was an underlying current of there's many ways to be a channeler, but without being, you know what I mean? You have different options. I think she was telling you that she had options. Which was kind of nice. She's gotten throughout the season. She's gotten little tidbits of mentorship from different people, and it's just been really cool. And I think this was one of those that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, are you somebody who doesn't like to give up control? Like, all of that stuff is very much like, is that going to affect Nynaeve and how her block is handled? Like, because obviously her block is a tricky thing that she's still dealing with. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, because I have a lot of questions about that.
What, her block?
Just like where is the block? What is it on her side? Is it? Yeah, I guess I don't really get it. I'm sure it will make sense eventually.
It's something to
Okay.
do with the fact that she started channeling before she went to the White Tower. Like, sometimes blocks develop because it's like a coping mechanism for people who don't necessarily want to be channeling, essentially, or aren't aware
Who,
that
like,
they're
fear
doing
the
it.
power, kind
of, yeah.
Mhm.
If that's how they're gonna play it in the show. So far, it seems like that's kind of how they're playing it, right? Because she resisted
Yeah.
Moiraine for a while in season 1. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Like, I don't know. That makes my brain go to like so many other places. And it's surprising that there's not like an acting out of sorts from almost like if you're describing a suppression of the power.
Yeah.
Like, one would think then that there would be that the energy like has to come out somewhere. So that's interesting. I think that's why I haven't understood what she's doing or what's happening to her, because I don't know that it seems interesting that a power like that could be suppressed with no effect, no like side effect, other than that I'm annoyed with her. I don't know if everyone else is, but I'm annoyed with her because she has the power to like intervene to help, and she doesn't use it, and it seems interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. We have seen explosions of power from Nynaeve, so that's, to me, almost like the valve, whenever the valve just gets, like, turned, but only in moments of extreme emotion, right, so far. So,
Right.
it's, we'll see if that can change in the season. We'll see if we see Nynaeve channeling, because have we even seen her channel one time this season? I don't think we have. Yeah. No.
There's a good question in the chat. Once we're done with this, whatever the topic that we're talking about right now. So.
Okay. I feel pretty good about it.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wasn't sure if we were done. The question is, did you guys ever talk about Rima Sedai? Now, that was last episode, I think.
Let's put a pin in that one for when.
All right, we can put a pin in that.
Because we've already gone over with Maggie. So what have we not talked about anything yet? Is there any final things we want to talk about before we let her go?
We talked about the Windfinders. We talked about the trip. Did we talk? We talked about Matt and Min, right?
Briefly. So yeah, we haven't really talked about Matt and Min that much. Yeah. Maggie, I guess so if I remember, you like Matt, right? Or am I making that up? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we like Matt. Are you still liking Matt? Who's your current favorite character? Like where are we at here?
Yay. We love Matt. He even described himself as cheeky, which I appreciated because I also described him as that. So fan. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, favorite character, or do you have a different favorite character?
Maybe he and Perrin are like tied for my
favorite. Very different reasons.
Right. But then you know who's coming up the ranks, you will be happy to find, is Egwene.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, yeah. Why is she coming up the ranks?
Yay. She's just becoming awesome. Yeah. I really like her. Okay, because at the beginning of the season, this always happens. We knew it was going to happen. We knew that I was excited. The five are back together. And I knew, you knew it was going to happen, that they would not be back together. And so, like, I don't know, the loyal part of me is like, she was the one who was like, no, I said I'm staying with you. And I'm like, well, they all actually said that. They all said it. So, like, no one would blame you because everybody else kind of, waffled on that too. And so I appreciate that she is loyal and that she I'm like, you could have found a side quest. You could have. And it seems like she's coming into one, but that it wasn't like her choosing it over her loyalty to her friend. And I appreciate that. The only thing I don't like the dream walking. I can find something in most episodes I don't like that she does. And with the dream walking, they're like, we'll teach you this, but only if you promise the next time you do it, you will be with us. And she's like, I promise. And then immediately she's like, I don't promise. And I'm like,
sometimes promises are meant to be broken.
Unless someone gives a compelling reason. Like
Maggie, I felt like that about Egwene my entire life. There's always something she does in one day that's gonna bug the hell out of me.
God, that's just so wild. But other than that, I think she's coming into her own in a lot of ways.
That's very exciting.
She's dealt with her trauma exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And there's
Pretty
a lot
impressive.
to be admired in what they're doing with that character. So
I mean, they've shown her throughout the entire series already to be a very strong-minded,
resilient
individual.
Yeah,
her brain is fortified. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's despite Lanfear continuing the trauma in the world of dreams, Egwene is still pushing on. Which I think
making her stronger.
Yeah, literally, what doesn't kill you. Although I don't necessarily agree with that phrase, but she's proving it kind of. All right, so we've gone over for Maggie, but I do have one more question about this particular episode, and I guess Matt and Min. Right, Min saw this viewing of Matt hanging. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts? Are you with Matt that Min's viewings have been wrong, or are you?
Hide that face from me, sad one. I don't want to see it.
It makes me so sad. That was a hard, her reaction was so strong when she saw that in the hallway.
Yeah,
and that was a hard thing to witness. Her seeing while the person is right there with you, to be like, you might choose this one day or it might be chosen for you,
but
you this might happen. I think that resonated with me. I think that was really hard, and I did not I did not like it.
Down vote.
But then I also love that she like followed him. Like there's something about the accompaniment that she did in that moment that's like, in the last one it seemed like she followed him to get her own what she wanted. And now she's following him to like help him, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I do wonder if she is taking Elaida's advice to heart, being like, I am someone, you know, who loves my visions, because what happens before and what happens after I can control, right? And so I'm wondering if Min is like, I'm going to try to control this. That's why she's drawing it. That's why she's trying to like figure out a way around it. That's what I'm gathering from this. And just so we're clear, like, this is different from what happens in the book, so I'm speculating. I don't actually know what's going to happen. Yeah.
It's very fun.
It's really fun. It's really fun. I would like to... Okay, real quick. Christian N. No one has yet to proclaim Ninja Fail supremacy with Canadian $5 in the chat. Ninja Fail, like Perrin's new crush or whatever. Are you feeling Fail, Maggie? Do you enjoy her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I really like, because he's so like tender-hearted, it seems like. And I like that she's sort of just a BA person. And she is like not scared. She seems very steady, and he's very steady.
Yeah.
So I like them.
Yeah.
And I think it's like cute. It's like good that he found someone who cares as much about the good, like what's right. And it doesn't seem like he would have to drag her along to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that in their match. Yeah. I didn't see her coming. Like, I wasn't expecting a love interest.
Would you say
from
that's different
back
than his wife?
Oh, a different relationship?
Like, does the relationship give, or the, you know, potential relationship have a different vibe from him and his wife from season 1?
I did not.
What you remember?
I didn't get that. It seemed, in season 1, weren't they saying that he was just always in love with Egwene?
That's what they said.
Yeah, it was like emo phase.
And so it was like, she was your consolation prize. This girl does not seem like a consolation prize. Not that his other wife ever was, but this seems like a chosen, like they just make sense a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I was not expecting it. I thought, because he's going to end up being a werewolf, you know, and I figured there'd be some, you know, werewolf female person somewhere in the world, and they, you know, so not what I was expecting.
So cute.
I really do like it.
Okay, I guess it wasn't you then. One of our guests, maybe it was Aaron, said that she was one. Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been you, because you saw the trailer, not the episodes. Aaron said that she thought maybe Fail was a vampire. How are you? Is she giving vampire to you, or just like kind of an awesome?
Amazing.
She's
I forgot
very
about
pale.
that.
She's very pale.
She's extremely pale, and she seems to do a lot of work at night. But I don't think that necessarily makes people vampires. So I held off judgment on that. She's really, I think it's cool the way that they have allowed or shown like women in close quarters combat throughout I don't know, the progression of the show. I think that's interesting.
I will say, okay, so we've seen Nynaeve, right, with the swords and the two warders. It was season 2, was it?
Yeah,
season 2. We've seen other women on the show fight, Avienda, you know, just different people. And you're right, close quarters. But Fail took it to an entirely different level, because what she was using were little karambits. Those little knives stick out from her hands about that far. That's almost like fisticuffs. That's almost like punching. That's super close quarters. And she was insanely good at it. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Oh, it's really cool.
It was fun to watch.
It's interesting. Yeah, they're having it's like with Avienda and Fail especially, you can kind of see whenever they're fighting men, they like get within their reach, right? So they take their smaller stature, and it's like not a disadvantage, because they have a way to like get in there close enough that like, the tiny little daggers, they're just as deadly as any sword.
Yeah.
I also think it's cool because it shows like that's what they train for, you know, like not assuming that they would just be fighting women, or assuming, you know, there's like, no, they're like warriors within their own right. And they know what they're up against, and they seem like the least timid, especially, but part of that's just because the guys from the Three Rivers had no idea what they were doing. But like to see one of them enter into like an altercation versus seeing one of those guys enter into an altercation, it's kind of cool that they're like so capable. And I don't know that we get a lot of that, you know, in other places. So
Yeah.
I like it.
The show, man. It's just got the women.
They're doing things.
Hashtag
The women.
the women.
We've done, okay, not that it matters, but has anybody done, because I might have to go and look, the numbers between men and women actors on the show?
No, but I'm
going to say there's probably way more women, right?
There's probably way more named women just because of the White Tower. That's my guess. No, but just off the top of my head.
Which is amazing. I mean, they're all killing. All of them are killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. I think we kind of covered all the plots. So we have run Maggie way over. So I'm gonna let her say whatever she wants to say to sign off. If you have any thoughts that we haven't covered yet, anything about the episodes, anything about the Wheel of Time, or anything about life in general, now is your chance to share.
Oh. No, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I didn't realize there are so few episodes left. That's a huge bummer.
Yeah.
But
it is sad.
Excited for and I am curious, like what season are we at now? What book are we at? Season,
4.
yeah, I know.
4.
Okay. So we're like in book 4.
But we kind of skipped a lot of what happened in book 3. But we've heard that they're gonna circle back to it.
So have we even dipped our toes into 5 yet? No, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But we might by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you, and we hope to have you back. If not in the next 2 episodes, maybe for the finale. It's always a pleasure. I'm so glad that you're liking Egwene, and obviously Matt, and obviously Perrin, and that we're warming up to Rand a little bit, even though he is who he is. You know, he's Rand. Thank you, and we're not going to keep you any longer. Yeah. We appreciate you so much. We'll see you later.
Bye, Maggie. She's hilarious.
Yay, that was fun.
So much. She's so good.
Love Cousin
I love
Maggie.
what you said about Fail with Perrin, how they just both want to like do the right thing.
Yeah.
She really made me think of Layla. Was that Perrin's
Layla,
yeah.
Perrin's wife? Yeah.
Layla?
Yeah.
Because like one of the only conversations we got between them, he was like, "You need to come and do this. Like you're supposed to do the thing with the women's circle." Like, and she wasn't taking those steps to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So I loved when she pointed that out. It made me think of that. Like he's getting better matched a little bit than the one they forced on us.
One they forced on us.
But
yeah.
They did.
Like what Maggie did say, consolation prize, and that shit hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
that was the vibe, though. They were trying.
They gave that to us.
They were trying to
that
communicate.
Was the vibe.
Yes. Okay. So we've got people in the chat thanking Maggie. Thanks, Maggie. We let be Maggie.
Yay.
Thanks, Maggie. Maggie's the best. Well, Maggie's tied for the best with all of our other amazing show only people. We love her and we love the rest of them. So yay! I'm so glad she came on. Okay, we are in full book spoiler territory, everyone. So now, if you do not want to be spoiled with the very final line of the book, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we'll say that, but like, but the end.
Never
of the
had that happen before.
Get out! Get out of here! Get out of here! Go!
See ya.
Full book.
We love you, but
Spoilers.
you gotta get
Full book spoilers. Okay. Great.
now. No one will get timed out now. Well, unless you're really rude. But, as far as spoilers concerned, you should be good now.
Yes. And I didn't call this out, but we've got David Bianco in the chat one more time. 2 more times actually.
He's already been timed out.
$2 Brazilian and $5 Brazilian. So thank you for the super chats. He's asking about the Montiar house, the mother of the Dragon Reborn, which was alluded to in episode 4, where she's like, "Your mother was an Aiel," essentially.
Oh,
is what she
episode
was
4.
saying.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was interesting. That's giving hints to the show only people.
Yeah, I mean it that really got as close as I think it could have gotten without just telling the whole damn story. I mean, they really got close.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Joe White got timed out? What do you mean you got timed? Like, oh, is my silly sad? Are we dropping lots of frames? I apologize to you all. Anyways, yes, Christian N.
Oh,
This is something
God.
I definitely want to talk about also.
Yeah.
$5 Canadian. Can we talk about how Happy Aiel Kid is a heartbreakingly blatant foreshadow of Dead Stone of Tear Kid? Let's talk about that next. But yeah, I think because they also mentioned Tigraine whenever they were talking
Yes.
about the monarchy, the Andoran, right? Like the last
Oh, yeah.
queen, like the reason the whole succession war kicked off was because a queen left, right? And that was surprise.
And they
Rand's mom.
mentioned it. Yeah, and they mentioned it. Didn't they mention it somewhere else when they're like, "We all know what happened"? Oh, are you saying that's the one where it says, "We all know what happened the last time a daughter heir or a queen or whatever disappeared and it was never seen again"?
Same episode, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So I don't know that
Yeah, they're
show
pushing
only
that.
people are putting those two things together just yet, but I have a feeling they're building up to some kind of like, oh, that's her, crazy. But we'll see.
I think that'll be fun for show only people though.
Yeah,
To
I
have
think
that
so, too.
realization happen.
Do you guys think that the Aiel that are sitting there hanging out with the group know that who Moiraine is?
I think so.
Like how close she
To
is
like
to-
Lamont.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would hold that against her.
I don't think they would either, but I'm just saying. I just wonder if they know,
I have no idea.
because that's been what, it's been
Interesting,
20
yeah.
years. It's been 20. I mean, and some of them went, of course, across the Dragon Wall. We know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
It's a good question because I don't know that they've ever called her by her last name.
All right, we were talking about the child, where
Yeah.
Rand stops his D&D progression for one level and dips his toe into necromancy.
Necromancy. That is not how I would pronounce that. Necromancy.
Excuse me, I'm trying to be fancy.
Necromancy? I didn't even get that was what he was saying.
Necromancy.
I don't judge anyone for mispronouncing things because it just means that you've read it rather than said it, and I think that's admirable.
I think, I mean, I think validly I could say necromancy and it's still correct.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fine. You know what? I don't know for sure that necromancy's right. So
I
you know
don't
what?
have
Who
a
am I?
clue.
Who am I?
They're fake words. No, they're not fake words.
But yeah,
Why?
I think it was awkward and a little creepy,
It
or
was.
some people thought it was heartwarming, but I think they did it for a very specific reason, and that is Stone of Tear-esque. Rand's gonna try and bring somebody back from the dead.
Oh yeah. So okay. So do we think we're getting Trollocs or the Drakkar? Because I think they're
I
going
don't
to get
think we're
attacked.
getting Drakkar. Just
You
based
don't
on
think we are?
just based on like interviews that I've seen, like
They
outside
said they're
show.
introducing one more
Beast.
like shadow spawn, I think is what they
Did
said.
they?
Did
Oh, see,
What?
because
I think one more.
I could have swore I saw Rafe say like they joke about the drag car because like it's like a bunch of people dressed in drag jumping out of a car, like it's the drag car.
Oh
but
my
that
gosh.
their
That's
VFX
hilarious.
people are like not today, But maybe it'll be
They
a
show
fun
up-
surprise.
They show up in a little vehicle and a bunch of them jump out.
Yeah. Oh, but one more shadow spawn. Would that be the Gray Man? Or one more shadow spawn after the
that's
Gray Man?
That's a good cat. That might be it.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean,
Maybe
the question
someday.
is, so do we think we're gonna get Racken and Toraken? Or
Well, those aren't shadow spawn.
Grom? No, or Grom. I mean, but
I
there's
think
still
maybe
there's
for
still
the-
money buckets.
I think maybe for the
special
return.
effects.
If Wheel of Time is
buckets for sure.
successful enough, I think maybe for the return, the Karen or whatever,
Lopar.
we'll get it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not.
It'd be very
Lopar.
surprising.
It would be.
For the big tower fight.
But I mean, yeah, the white you need that. I think for Gathering Storm tower fight.
Yes.
All
They
right. So
gotta be
what do we?
flying.
What do you think we're getting? Is it going to be a Shido attack? Is it going to be a Trolloc attack? What kind of issue is going to happen?
I bet it's Trollocs.
You think it's Trollocs? I think so too.
They've done so good with the Trollocs. They should keep
Yeah.
bringing them in.
Yeah.
They need to be scarier and harder to meet though.
And I've been giving this thought because I didn't know about that theory, right? About the child being the child. He kind of reminded me of the child
yeah.
from
I didn't
Mad
either.
Max with the boomerang.
Mhm.
But I started thinking about it. I was like, it would make a lot of sense because he has to win the people over right? And they get attacked, and they see the passion and of him trying to save the person who's coming to destroy them, trying to save one. What is going to be really powerful, I think, on the show.
I think it'll be powerful, but at the same time, like if I'm an Aiel watching, it's like kind of like let her be, man. Like,
well, that's you got the
yeah,
it's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Oh, somebody's saying they think the Shido is gonna be coming in.
I mean, it definitely could be the Shido because
I mean, I don't know.
Conflict. They introduced us to him.
Yeah, that conflict has been telegraphed for sure. Did I interrupt you, Winespring? Were you going to say something?
I don't think so.
No, okay. I just want to make sure. I thought you were.
It's flowing. It's fun.
Just make okay. Fell Knight Gaming.
I do want to talk about Baron eventually, though. We'll get to it.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Okay.
$5 Canadian Super Chat. It's so hard. I'm watching with my show-only wife, and I'm trying to not spoil my wife, but the veins of gold moment between Soiraine was just everything. God, that moment was beautiful. Oh, my God. It was beautiful. Okay. What? You disagree?
No, I wouldn't say I disagree. I did enjoy the part where Swan was like, "What would you have done?" And Moiraine was, "I would have done the same thing." Why? Because Moiraine is Moiraine, and we know that Moiraine would have done the same thing.
Ruthless. And I love her for it.
Flat out ruthless. And apparently Lanfear loves that part about her too. So that was cool to me. And again, it's a relationship. It's not the Amerlin seat anymore, right? Watching Swan just clawing at trying to keep the relationship, which is how it seemed to me, was kind of crazy. And Moiraine never telling her what the second thing she knew for a fact was that she thinks she's going to die. Kind of tossed her and this is going to sound tossed her a bone in saying, "Yeah, I'll wait for you every time," because she knows she's going to die and she wants to leave her with a happy thought. That's how I looked at it. I mean, there might have been a little bit more to it, but that's how I saw it. And I was like, I don't know. Given what we know is going to happen with Swan, it's like the last happy hurrah before shit hits the fan.
Do you think that's going to happen this season?
Oh,
the Tower coup?
I think it's going to start. Yeah, I think especially now. Are you kidding? When Elaida was like, "You brought me here," or "You led me here." Oh, that shit is not going to fly. She is going to use that to, oh my God, that's going to get nasty.
I think some people think that, like, oh my gosh, maybe they'll team up now. Nope. And I'm like, oh boy.
Nope.
Oh,
sweet.
It's what it looked like.
When
I watched it the second time, I was like, oh, people are going to not get the right conclusion here.
Well, Swan made it seem that way with her comment. I had the wrong impression of you, sister. But Elaida's face was not saying that. She wasn't saying that.
So Elaida just killed her. Walked in and just killed her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I was really surprised by that in that moment. I don't remember that being something they could just do in that way.
I remember in the books at one point the 3 oaths were like, you can't use the 1 power as a weapon except in the last defense of your life or your warder's life, or against, in my memory, it's shadow spawn.
Yes.
But I believe that kind of evolved into against dark friends or shadow spawn, and that's why she was able to kill her.
Yeah.
So she believed she was a dark friend, therefore she was able to.
Well, it's not that she believed. Wow. Amiko stated it. She said, "Tell me, who your other black sisters are." And she was like, "We're never going to give them up." And not only did she admit to it, she threw Joya under the bus too. She was like,
"She did it quick.
We're never going to give them up." And I was like, "Damn, that's kind of jacked up." But Elaida was with the quickness, just gone.
Man, I mean, kind of I respect it a little bit. Yeah. I was hoping, and this is the perfect segue into what Winespring wants to talk about. I was hoping that it would be Varen, because like she has the revenge cover, right? Yeah. But also, like, what if Joya was about to say her name? Full book spoilers. Yeah. Full book spoilers. Full book, right? Like,
say whose name?
Yeah,
say
sorry.
Her name, say her name.
Sorry.
Leave now.
Yeah. So yeah, how are we feeling about here? How are we feeling about Varen right now? Is she
okay? Yeah. I loved the Varenness in this when she had full faith in her sister. And then we just get to see what her sister does with her lacking mental capacity she has
Yep.
right now, where she smells the roses. Oh, and then she remembers what her sister told her about the roses. Oh, wait, I am supposed to do this. And like, but she verbalized it in a way we understand what's happening, but Elaida's not catching it at
Not
all.
a friggin'
And
clue.
it was fantastic. It was really fun to watch, like really fun to watch in that moment.
And Shora plays it off so well as Elaida, because when she says Black Aja twice and Shora covers her mouth and Elaida covers her mouth, and then she covered her mouth too.
Yes.
Totally took Elaida out of the. Totally knocked her out. She started giggling.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. It was
so
like,
well
done.
that's when you freaking roll a check, and that's a crit. That's what that was. Totally
What,
threw
for
her off.
Adelius?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for Adelius. A total crit for Adelius. Threw her off. And the smell thing was so clever to put in the scene, because Swan had already mentioned her roses.
Yep.
And every accepted and novice that went through training with Elaida remembers she smelled like roses.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys think
And
that
so
was
for
a
someone with
memory trigger for
It
her?
was.
I think it was a memory trigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, roses,
100% memory trigger.
roses. I will tell you where my sister
Yeah.
is."
You guys
and I was
catch
just like,
so
"Wow."
much. You guys are so good at this game. Like, well done.
Good at this game.
This game.
Well done, all.
Yeah, it was so well executed. Oh my god! And at first I thought, remember we were talking about river trash, the whole Elaida Swan thing. Sorry to jump over to that.
No,
but when Elaida goes off on her, it dawned on me, Swan started that shit. She started the moment she walked into the door. Oh, I forgot. I could smell your roses from down the hall before you came in the door. She started insulting her straight from the get-go. So Elaida was like, listen, river trash, river trash.
Okay, I feel like there's a bit of a difference from being like,
There
your
was.
perfume's pretty strong to
it was
your
harsh.
river trash.
You're garbage.
It was harsh. That's when I said emotional damage earlier.
Yeah.
Aes Sedai, or the pissy Aes Sedai, are the freaking meanest things on the planet.
It really, really are.
So she said, like, you showed up just filthy, and you were river trash.
Oh, she
like that. So, but you're not able to lie, right? So
no,
she
I
showed
felt
up filthy, looking like river trash.
I felt dirty when she said that.
Well, but it wasn't that she said you looked like river trash. She literally says like you are what you've always been.
Yeah.
Like still you are
like
river
she
trash.
believes it enough, I guess, that she's able to say it. Is that how that works with the oaths?
Oh no,
she
totally believes that. She totally believes
100% believes.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned this yet. Christian N, super chat $5 Canadian. The near lethal combat all season is also clearly setting up for how power resets the stakes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I actually just did a TikTok today about healing, because people have been asking me, because like Alana's with her arrow, all the arrows that she took, because there's no Aes Sedai that we know of around her, but Bode can channel at the very least, but I don't know if she's going to be able to channel that much power. We had Elaida getting stabbed and revived. We've had a lot of people on the verge of death in the show come back because channelers could heal. So I think you're right. Like the show only people also are just like, okay, what can't be healed? And the show is going to answer that question pretty clearly if they have the Rand trying to heal death scene.
Yeah, they're going to answer that real good. It's going to suck.
It's going to suck.
Yeah.
I said this to Winespring Thursday morning after I put it in chat. It wasn't a spoiler, so I try not to spoil Kritter, because Kritter watches the episodes later than we do on Thursdays. And I was like, freaking tears. And unlike Kritter, who apparently cried through the last 20 minutes of the episode,
I get it. Honestly, I get it. Yes.
the only one that really got me was fucking seeing Hopper. Sorry about the F-bomb, but God, that was just bullshit. Why do they keep doing that to us? It's just not.
So explain your thoughts. Wait, Tavern, on Hopper before we move away.
Okay,
so we see Hopper, and it's very exciting, right? And then the thing that Perrin says to Hopper, Hopper is, stay down.
Yeah, because he tells him before they go into Falm, Hopper, stay.
I was wondering if it was kind of leading into that.
Stay down. And I was like, I was so mad. I was so mad.
Okay, I was glad I wasn't the only one that had a visceral reaction to stay down. It's like, how dare you tell Hopper to stay down?
And okay, technically, this is my assumption from behind the scenes kind of thing, is that they use the same footage. From when Hopper mentally projected, told him his name. They used the same real footage this time, not with the opacity on it and all that stuff of Hopper jumping in front of the forge, and I was like, I wanted to scream. I was so mad, and then I got upset. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough day. It was a rough day in the tavern. It was.
I don't understand. Like I when I saw Hopper, also, I mean, incredibly touched. But how did the Nynaeve one literally stabbed me in the heart?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was mad at Egwene, actually.
For intruding.
Like, how dare she intrude on this moment?
Well, every one of those moments was freaking harsh.
That one was like, we know what Nynaeve lived years with that child.
Yeah.
Like that is.
To be honest with you,
killed me.
I think my confusion,
yeah, it was a lot.
I want to say I think my confusion spared me a little bit with that one, because when I first saw her up there with the child, my initial impression, for whatever reason, was, is that a young Egwene?
That's what so many people in my comments also said.
Oh.
And
really?
Yeah, because they look a lot alike.
Me either.
But I didn't.
We know what Nynaeve wants to be dreaming about, and it's her daughter.
But I want to tell you right now. But then again, I mean, if I'm being honest, a lot of the stuff that you guys like get into detail about, right? Like the Nynaeve stuff with her daughter. A lot of the fans get involved with the whole romance stuff, and they're totally flirting. All of that. Like I'm like,
yeah.
I don't care. Oh, they're getting intimate. Well, who's gonna stab who? Let's go. We got to move the story along.
Wow.
Next stabby.
Wow.
No, but seriously, I'm not gonna say it all gets past me, but I honestly don't put as much into those storylines than I do into the stuff that resonates with me the most. So I don't know if
that makes perfect sense.
But, I mean,
it does.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, Lan, Rand, not even a Matt, somewhat. Gareth Bryn of all his story arc. I freaking love his story arc.
I do too.
It's
lot.
Incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I do like Egwene. I just.
I like Egwene more and more.
It's
reminding me of Book Egwene more and more too.
No, she is. Listen, they are hitting spot on Book Egwene, and Kritter hates it when I say this. You know, with Egwene, where she's like a chameleon. Like every time they tell her, "Oh, look, you might be able to do this," she totally ignores what she was before, and now she's this whole thing, right? And she just becomes whatever the next big thing is. And granted, that's how she progresses, and that's how she learns.
Yeah, it sounds more like an opportunist than like
exactly
to me. She sees opportunity and jumps on it, which is.
But she also tries to blend in. I mean, she immediately took to the Aiel wardrobe. She took immediately to the White Tower wardrobe.
I mean, she kind of had to.
No, I know she had to, but
was she gonna hop over to?
But she really, really loved it. I mean, she really freaking dug it. Like Nynaeve didn't want to wear that shit.
I mean, she wanted to do well. I think that's her thing. She wants to do well, like at whatever she's doing, which
she's
I can
a go-getter.
relate to. Yeah, like if you're gonna do something, do your best. Essentially,
and I said it earlier. She's probably got one of the strongest minds in all of the books.
Oh man, she's being tormented by a Forsaken.
Yep.
Yeah, jeez, and like the warm reception that she receives from the wise ones when she wakes up after that, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's what's been happening in your dreams." Like that was so good to see some validation for Egwene.
She's like,
what she's been experiencing.
So I
someone understands.
I'm not crazy. I mean, the entire season, I've liked what they've done with Bear and Moiraine. Bear has been more nurturing than ever in the books. I mean, she was someone in the books, but not like this. And then you have Moiraine, who's kind of playing the I wouldn't say good cop, bad cop, but like nurturing cop, stern cop. You know what I mean?
I love how they're communicating, though.
Yeah, it's freaking incredible. And their communication, their eyes, everything they do is insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their lines are just well played off each other.
I want to give our co-host Winespring the most ginormous amount of props that I can give at this moment, because
thank you. I'll just take it for wherever it is.
During one of our streams, Kritter, I believe you were on hiatus.
Okay.
Winespring saw a post on Instagram, or I don't remember where the hell she saw this post, and it said something it was a response to the character playing Ruark saying, okay, TV hubby or movie hubby or whatever. And Winespring started doing research live on air and in one of our streams and pulled this lady up. And it turned out to be Leanne, his second wife, the roof mistress. And she called it months ago.
No, I wish that was totally true.
Listen, that's how I recall it. That's all that matters. Shush. No.
Okay, I think it was Meg.
Was it Meg that mentioned it?
Showed me the Instagram because I don't even have that.
Oh, okay. So we'll give.
And then live, I did look it up, and I was hoping it was a niece, and maybe they were tricking us, and it was a niece. I think.
So
But it's
Meg
not.
Moss,
It's
my
fine.
apologies. Kudos to you too.
Yeah.
I'm taking all of Winespring's kudos, and
It's
I'm
fine.
just kidding.
I would
I'm
rather
just
be
kidding.
honest.
But it was really cool.
Which, you know what? You deserve kudos for.
She
so
does.
well done.
She does.
That's funny.
Because it was freaking awesome. I like.
It was fun too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time that night.
Can we haven't really talked much about Avienda, but like I'm really loving the small amount of stuff that we're getting from her. The like poor Egwene thing that she said to Rand, like you can only have one lover, poor Egwene, and then of course we go to Rand like canoodling with somebody else.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's like
that's a good call out actually. Yeah.
His teacher, right? And she's like, it's polite with the Aiel to talk to the people you're next to. She's like begrudgingly training him. I think that is I don't know. I'm
But
really
the
digging
follow
it.
up where he's like, you don't have to train me, and she's like, eat with your right hand. He's like, okay.
Yeah, it was perfect. That was so good.
I mean, that shows he's ready to learn too. He wants to be like accepted, like by these people.
I don't want to bring the fantasy league thing up again, but there was a huge argument as to whether Avienda and Rand were flirting with each other in that moment, and I was like, no. She still doesn't like him. I don't think she starts giving him a second look until he makes that comment to the little girl about perfection with the squash, and then she kind of glances at him with a smile, you know. But before that,
I thought she was irritated with him with that.
Glance. Totally
that
irritated.
Glance did not look flirt like.
No, it was not flirty.
To me, like just because of what I know from the books, like they mean flirt. Like they neg each other.
Mean flirt.
They
oh,
mean
that's
flirt.
a good point.
And so in my mind, like she might have been flirting with him because she's kind of like hateful towards him.
I will say that I almost did not recognize her when we first saw her.
She's not in her Cadsor.
No, not only that, but her facial structure, everything was just. And she's actually she's like 5'10", isn't she?
I don't know.
Is she?
I think in real life she's pretty tall.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I think she is. Because I know that
I thought she was a lot shorter than that, but okay.
I want to say somebody said yesterday that she was 5'10", but I can't recall. But anyways, yeah, it just didn't look like her at all at first until she opened her mouth, and I was like, "There's Avienda."
There she is.
That's funny. I'll agree with you that her whole vibe is different. Like like everything about her aesthetically it feels very different. It's almost like she
in
also
the books or
no from
with
when
her
she was
change.
when she was a Maiden of the Spear.
Yeah.
Like the change is very
apparent.
She's
up in her direction almost. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's interesting seeing her in her natural.
She's 5'10".
Okay, so she's
5'10". Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
But yeah, we're not getting a ton from her. You know, every now and then we'll get like some fun stuff, but like what we are getting, I think she's doing a really good job. I'm enjoying her.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Okay, so we're full spoiler. Screw it. Are we getting the scene? This
igloo?
The igloo? No.
Yeah.
Not
you
this.
Don't think so?
Not the season.
Oh, the season.
Not the season.
No, probably not. Yeah, that'd be.
I thought about that today, and then of course my brain sidetracked to if Rand is the Karakarn, that means he's the chief of chiefs, and she ends up married to him. So does that make her the roof mistress? And if that's the case, would it be ice cold rock hold, or what would they call their hold?
Rock hold. No.
Frozen block hold. I don't know what they would call it. It would be freaking amazing.
I like the ice cold rock.
Ice cold rock.
Pretty good.
I guess so. That does beg the question. We've gotten a pretty clear trajectory from Elaine and Avienda, right? They are together, and I believe they're going to form a polycule with Rand, pretty obviously with the flirting and everything. Where does Min fit in?
I don't know.
What if she doesn't?
Yeah, that's a thing. I mean, what if she doesn't?
I think people speculate about that, but I mean, I hope they figure it out, obviously.
That's so
I've
interesting
seen that
because
too, but I don't get it. I don't.
in the books, Min is the one who is with him the most, right? She is like at his side or on his lap at all times. Like once they're together, they're together. And Avienda and Elaine are more like, I've got important cat shit to do. Like I'll see you later. You know what I mean? So it would be interesting if Min wasn't a part of it. I think that she still will be. I don't think there'll be anything romantic between Min and the two girls. Like I think they're going to be kind of their own pod. Who they're also going to be in love with Rand, and I think Min's going to be her own little spoke in that wheel.
So you, so you think, that's going to be a
complicated relationship.
Well, not only that, but I mean that would
good luck, Rand.
and we all know, it's pretty much Min's fate, is with her power and stuff. But that's a really shit fate for Min. That talk about having to do your duty. I mean,
being with Rand.
Well, you have the vision, right? And if they have a polycule going on and she's odd person out and she's doing it because it's been thrust upon her by the frickin' pattern.
Well, I don't think she's doing it. Like, she falls in love with Rand in the books, even though she has that vision.
Yeah. We know that, but we have not seen any of that time in the show, which is horrific.
They're going to have to develop a lot
quickly
to have her have any kind of a romance with Rand.
I have another thing that's been bugging me about since we're in the Aiel waste at the moment, and that's Melindra. So I was doing some maths today, and as we all know, I suck at maths, but we're gonna do
math or maths.
Maths.
Okay, got it. Just
so, Lan was roughly what, 20 something when Moiraine found him
in the books or the show.
Well, either one, I would think. I mean,
no, in the books he was 19. I think in the show he was older. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say he's roughly 40 on the show.
Rand?
Lan.
No.
Oh my God. Okay, I thought we were talking about Rand.
Wrong person. Lan. Because I said Rand first and then I changed it. Sorry.
Okay. Is this what we talked? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So Lan, roughly 40, 45, right?
In
the show. We're gonna say the show.
In the show, yeah.
Okay. He was a baby when he left Malkir.
Yes.
When he was rushed out of Malkir as the blight and all that stuff was taking over. Melindra's never said how old she is when she left Malkir, right? When she ran. But she talks about partying into the night, and she's got a giant tattoo on her back, so she couldn't have been too young. So if Rand is 40 something, how freaking old is Melindra? And god damn, she looks good. I want to eat what she's eating.
I know. That's my biggest,
I'm really glad you brought it up too. Yeah.
That's my thing, because Melindra's actress, I looked it up too. Joe White, she's 48, and Daniel Henney, I believe, is 45. So there's 45, a 3-year age difference between the actors.
Wow.
And Melindra is supposed to have memories from Malkir that involve dancing and late nights after dancing.
Yeah.
To me, there's absolutely no way she's at least 15 years older than him. To be going out in the town, minimum 15, right?
Yeah.
If you have shitty parents, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way. And so, are you trying to suggest, Tavern, that this means that this is Grendel?
Well, no. That's not what I'm trying to suggest. One,
I heard that too.
There's a whole thing. I had a whole thing that I did about the Grendel thing.
Oh yeah.
Where I tried to make it plausible. So my new joy is listening to people's theories and then trying to see how plausible I can make them within the confines of the show. Okay. So with Grendel and Melindra, again, this wasn't my theory, but I was like, theoretically it's possible because Grendel was better at compulsion than Raven was. Matter of fact, and she liked to collect princes and kings and whatnot.
Yes. She's the worst.
And so we all know that and Lan says, Aiel don't get tattoos. That's why I was like, that's what started the whole thing. Lan saying Aiel don't get tattoos. And I was like, where did her ass get a tattoo? Right? Did she get it before she got to the Aiel? And if so, how old was she when she got a freaking tattoo? I don't know if the Age of Legends had an age thing like we do here, but you know what I'm saying?
She could have gotten the tattoo after she left.
She could have.
For sure.
She could have. But if she had taken up the Aiel way, how would they have looked upon that? Now, to me, it's more accepting of them if she had it before she got there. Now, We know that Tigraine's story is the story of the maiden that ran off and they took her in. Well, now it's Melindra's story too. So does it diminish Tigraine's story, or does it make it a common thing that the Aiel do, that which we know is not a fact because they kill everybody that comes into the waste except for merchants and Tuathan, right?
Well, 2 isn't common. It's 2.
Well, yeah, but in the books it was unheard of that we know of. Nobody ever mentioned any other story like that in the books. So I'm kind of going off what I know from everything. And so to me, is it possible? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying, but it is plausible that it could be Grendel. And she would be strong enough to make the entire Aiel think that she's been with them since she was a freaking young girl. So, and that's just, again, I'm not sure how. I'm at like a 60%. Maybe. Yeah.
Her being Grendel would be fun, though.
It would be fun. It would be a rare casting miss.
It would be.
Or just a weird writing choice to have her suggest that she was out partying in Malkir when she's only a little bit older than Lan.
Yeah, that's true. You know, again, then that's what got me thinking the whole thing about the age thing, because I was like, there's no way in hell. There's no way.
I mean, Daniel who's got a point. Like, maybe it was like barn dances where little kids were up all night too. But like, I don't know. That's not the vibe I got. But you could be right. You could totally be right.
I don't hate that. Yeah.
No, that's not a bad call.
It's actually not too bad.
Okay, Fell Knight Gaming, I didn't mention this earlier, $5 Super Chat Canadian, Season 4 finale in Ruidion or Tanchico? Feels to me like the Redstone Dwarf way was in Tanchico. I predict the Karen in Tanchico, Season 3, Episode 8, and skip Ebudar. So, I think the finale is going to be big. It's going to be Alcair Dal, probably, like the Shido... Couladin, Rand confrontation.
Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting about Couladin.
Yeah, never forget. Hopefully that means Asmodean is going to show up. Our final Forsaken, fingers crossed, because how else is he going to get those dragoons? And yeah, so I don't know. I think the door frame is going to be in Tanchico because that's how I think Matt is going to go through it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
I think somebody else is going to be in Tanchico. And I think we might meet Julian.
Julian, okay. With the guy with the conical hat, or the guy with the wide-brimmed hat.
No, I don't think that's him in the shots. I think we might meet Julian, because they're kind of pointing us in the direction of Tyr for next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Julian would need to get back to Tyr, and if Elaine, Nynaeve, Matt, and all of them have to get the hell out, that would be someone that would be introduced to bring them, help get them there, and kind of like segue from Tanchico to Tyr.
I mean, that's true, but also Tom Marilyn. He's a pretty.
I thought I saw him in the freaking next episode teaser, and I was like, nope, that's not him.
No, I think we've seen him.
You think we've seen him
somewhere already?
I think at the
end,
an
episode?
at the end of one of the episodes, in the like upcoming or whatever.
Okay.
Oh,
I could swear that we saw him and Elaine in a shot. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure I saw him.
I have not watched him.
I've seen
been
a couple
avoiding.
of them, so I don't know. Do you? Okay.
Yes, 13th Depository. Thank you. Season 4 renewal. When? Amazon and Sony. When? You know what? Maybe they're just like, maybe they're making us wait, and whenever they'll announce it, it's going to be like, actually, season 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yoshi's going to be in Romania.
I hope you're right.
I think Yoshi's the first one to appear at a Comic-Con as a Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm. Well, other than like at Brazil, in Brazil.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But so they might do it there. They might hopefully announce something there. I guess my question was going to be, how do you feel? Or we haven't seen Fane, right? We haven't seen Fane.
Yeah.
All season. We know that the White Cloaks reinforcements are coming in to the Two Rivers, and we have seen posters with Fane in Questioner uniform. So what do you think is going to happen with our boy? Do you think we're getting crazy Fane, or do you think we're still getting freaking lackluster Lord whatever his name.
See, that's just
lukewarm.
it. That's just it. I was expecting Thane to come in and kill the Ibaras, but now that Natty Cawthon has been killed, I'm like, is that the big OMG family death, and we're not going to get more? So like two options: Thane is going to kill the Ibaras, or he's going to be lackluster.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
think he's
I'm
gonna
at.
kill him.
You think so?
Yeah,
It's gonna get dark. I mean, we're coming to the last 3 episodes. That is usually when it starts like ramping too.
That's why I think that and I don't want to say it out too loud because there's strategies happening, but that's why I think a certain character in the Two Rivers is gonna freaking pop off unexpectedly.
Bode or one of Matt's sisters.
Well, so much for discretion. Yes, Bode.
I mean, we saw them channel.
No,
like,
I know.
let's,
I was trying to be. Was it a Wheel of Time Fantasy League quiet?
I knew that's what you were aiming for there.
Well, sorry
It's
about
so
that.
funny. I was
No,
like, they
but-
might not even watch.
But you know
right
what? It
now.
doesn't matter. You know why? We have first pick. We're still in last place, so we
still
can
in
do what
last
we
place.
want.
Excited about last place.
terrible.
No, we're sad.
Okay, I have a book question. Unless you have something
Yeah.
from the chat.
Oh, I
I have it up, so I'm missing it all.
Fell Knight Gaming, thank you for
Oh.
$2 Canadian super chat. Tom equals secret Asmodean. I like the concept. I think if we get Tom as an Asmodean, it'll be a Mask of Mirrors. I think Tom will be Tom, but there will also maybe be an Asmodean Tom. That's where I'm at.
I think
Whoa.
you think that? Don't
You're
you,
trippy.
do you not think that'll totally freaking just confuse the shit out of show only people?
I mean, show only
It has to be done
people
really
have
well.
probably seen Harry Potter. Like the Mad Eye
That's
Moody
true.
concept is not going to
point.
be lost on
well,
them.
we got Harry Potter this episode too with Nynaeve in the spitting bucket, just like Ron, and Hermione with her book, Elaine.
True. It's true.
And Harry just hanging out.
Tanchico
So
is a
it's pretty
city
funny.
upon 3 hills.
Oh my god, I was.
We got our
cracking
Lord
up.
of the Rings Boromir moment with Alana.
We did. Oh my god.
It's very much.
Good call. Okay,
Yeah.
Winespring, you wanted.
Okay, my question. I wanted to ask it when Maggie was here, but I was like, I think that might be too much because I can't remember from the books when you're in the dream world and you're in Ice to Die.
Uh-huh.
So you've sworn some oaths. Do they apply
Yeah.
to you in the dream world?
Yeah, 'cause
They
you're
do.
physically
Because
there.
you're still you.
Yeah.
No, you're not
Okay,
physically there
okay.
necessarily.
Well, if you're in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Well, there's a difference between being in the dream.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Right.
It,
But yeah,
bodily.
you were still
Okay, so
you.
Teleanroid is the one I'm interested in.
Yes,
So
you're
you
bound
are
by
still
your
bound
oaths.
regardless. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
'cause
you're,
that
you're
weave
still
settles
you.
in on you.
Yeah, because you're still you in the world of dreams.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like some people on my TikTok have asked me about Ta'veren, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to like write a script for this one because like
Yeah,
there's so
right?
many layers of rules that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We haven't talked about well, a couple of individuals, but one in particular that is probably going to end up being one of the most evil characters to ever grace a television screen, and that's Valda.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Holy
About him.
but he's so good. I mean,
Oh.
the acting is so good.
He's
It's like, do people hate him as much as we do? I wonder.
I feel like he's the only like Wheel of Time villain in the show who's like the mustache twirler. Like,
Yeah.
everybody else is like so
Yeah.
complex and interesting, and they're layered, like
he's just
onions, and
evil.
he's just the mustache
He's just
twirler.
brutal.
He's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
horrible.
He's just brutal. Yeah.
London. I was on with London last night on the Way of the Leaf, which, by the way, anytime you're on screen with London, it's a freaking hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's freaking right. And she was saying he's the only person I know that can frown and smile at the same time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's so true. He's so good at it. Oh, and Dane, that's the other character, Dane.
Yeah.
When he was like, and I think Maggie brought this up, when he was like, I wasn't, or he goes, I was until you showed up.
Yeah.
You know, you used to be good. I was. Man,
That's
there was
lazy.
a lot of freaking breaking up. I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
uh,
That the fight. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna say that bromance is gone. That
Oh,
yeah.
that initial bromance is
Long gone.
Yeah. The fight with the parent, like,
Mhm.
what do you call that? Like, it's not combat fighting. Maybe it is like the up close quarters fighting.
Yeah,
He's the-
close good combat. Yeah,
Close quarters. Like he needs to get better at that. Like every time he's close, someone gets hurt, and or he does.
Yeah.
And like Fail's kicking ass. Like, why did he need to pause and yell her name and then get injured? That seemed like he I'm
Because
looking
it's-
forward to seeing him Like learn.
It's a guy
more.
thing. It's a guy thing. So like, you know how in horror movies they always
She's gonna
have
get
the
mad
one,
at him.
they always have the one female whose heel breaks as she's running and she falls, you know, all the stupid stuff.
Yeah, sure,
That's
sure.
a guy thing. You're in a fight. He's gonna stop to yell for the girl, and he's gonna get stabbed every freaking time.
I hope
Every
that they
time.
change that though, like, but with the development of Fail, like,
Yeah.
I'm looking
Oh,
forward
no.
to see them change that.
I think, yeah, like in the
Yeah.
books where Perrin comes to like respect Fail and her wants and her
Yes.
needs and the fact that she is an independent woman, like I
Yeah.
hope the same
Highly
thing
capable.
happens. Highly capable. I think
Yeah.
hope the same thing happens in the show.
Yeah,
because it's a
read
that
that
fight scene
satisfying
just
arc.
showed it for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Read that
I mean, I'm
super
ready.
chat.
Okay, Joe White, $5. My show only friend heard more than one way to be a woman and thinks Nynaeve will break her block by seizing the male side of the source.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
look,
that's the
it
part
was
that
there.
got me.
No, it was there. I saw it too, and I've not talked to anyone about that. Yep. Yeah, I can
Huh.
see it. I can. Yeah.
That's
I mean, they're
so
talking about how her
interesting.
feet are planted. They're talking about how she's trying to engage with it the wrong way, a way that's not natural for a woman to do. And like those kind of things, I totally could see them going that route with Nynaeve's character. Yeah. I don't know how
mean-
that would work
I mean,
with the
they're
books,
explaining
but
it-
like, yeah.
See, I took it the opposite direction. I thought that the
Don't
Wave
get mad at
Mistress.
me, y'all.
No, I'm not mad at you. It's just
It's so
interesting.
interesting.
My brain
Yeah.
is like, what?
Because when the Wave Mistress was talking to her about planting her feet and not fighting it and whatever, what
Control
got-
issues.
what hit
like,
me was Nynaeve saying the same shit to Egwene right before she shoved her off the cliff into the freaking river,
mhm.
right? What
Like
it means
that's
to be a woman.
that's her femininity. Yeah.
Yeah, let it flow, let it, whatever. And that's what but man, that's an interesting. That's
Because what does
really
Logain say to Rand about?
Oh, it's about he has to
Touching
fight
the
it. He has
source.
to take control of it, right?
Uh-huh.
It's completely different from Saidin is completely different from Sidar, and they say that in the books too, right?
And so,
Where-
and I need control issues. She wants to take control. She wants to grab it, make it hers. Like
Yeah.
there's,
I think-
it's definitely there.
So that's interesting.
Hmm.
I do think that they're using that
Super
as
interesting.
like a way, like in the books where she has to surrender essentially to
Mhm.
get it
Yeah.
to work, right? And so
Mhm.
I think that is just the Windfinders being like, you don't have to be an Aes Sedai, you don't have to be like whenever you're the Wisdom, you don't have to be completely in control, you don't have to be stubborn, you don't have to be all of these things that you think that you need to
Right.
be.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just need to surrender, and that to
That's
me,
what we anticipate. I think
that's
yeah.
that's what I anticipate.
Yeah.
It is an
Yeah.
interesting suggestion though that's how some
But
people are
I'm
reading
glad
into
someone
it.
else saw it.
No,
Like,
that's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So do you think it's possible that because what I've seen is I've seen Leandrin kind of teach Nynaeve one-on-one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've seen Rima,
Rima, I think.
Rima, thank you. Kind of teach her and kind of, help her a little bit, kind of one-on-one. We now have this Wave Mistress, and they're all kind of telling her the same kind of thing, right? So somebody brought this up, and that's the only reason I'm saying this because it got me thinking yesterday was that maybe it's not really her block. It's not a block. It's about control, and we're going to get a completely different release for her than we got in the books. Like it's not going to be
Which was the boat, right?
which was underwater in the
boat,
boat,
land.
and she there
There was an allude. They alluded to that in one of the episodes.
well, they alluded to the fact that she doesn't like boats, and then we see her throwing up. That was last episode when she goes, "Why are we?" She goes, "We're going on a boat," and she didn't like it, and that was kind of funny.
What were you suggesting that Winespring? You were on a path, I feel.
Yeah.
Saying something.
Oh, with Nynaeve's block?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
No?
think Tavern was. I was just walking with them trying to get
Oh,
there
okay,
at the
walking
same
with
time.
him. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just checking.
yeah, so regardless of which power she seizes or whatever, I think we're not going to get the boat scene, I don't think.
See, I don't think it's
Okay.
I think it is technically a block, and I think it is technically very similar to the book block, because when we've seen her channeling is when she is in a state of extreme emotion. Whenever she thinks Lan is dying, whenever she's pissed at Leandrin, the only exception is when she has that little blast of the one power when she's channeling with Rima. That's the one that's got the hang up for me. Because it's like, why was she able to channel there when she can't channel any other time?
She was inspired by Rima. What she said
She
to
was.
her,
She
like,
was kind of letting go.
you don't,
Yeah.
you just heal. You just do it. Like this is
True.
what you do.
So I think the block might work differently
Like in
the
D&D,
show.
you get inspiration.
Yeah, I think the block might work differently in the
Plus four.
show than it does in the books, because in the books, once you can channel without like satisfying your block's condition, the block is gone. That's clearly not the case here.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to see what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I think that she felt. I mean, and we see that in this season too, where she's really, really comfortable around Rima, because Rima is a healer, like a true freaking healer, and she understands that, right? And I think that's why she could channel in Falm, is because Rima got her to relax just enough to get that little spark out. Except she doesn't know how to let out a little spark. Right, I don't know if you follow Marvel Comics.
That was her little spark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you follow Marvel Comics, and you have Cyclops with the visor that he has to keep on. A lot of people think it's lasers. It's not laser. His vision is actually a freaking portal to the punch dimension, and so what's coming out of there's just freaking blasts. Is what it is.
That's so cool.
So he can't control it. That's why he has to. And I think Nynaeve is kind of like that when she finally calms down enough and goes, oh, I can light this freaking, or I can light this match, and
a bonfire
happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Follow Your Muse thinks the fact that having the Windfinders make that comment on a boat is foreshadowing that it will be the boat scene.
You think?
I don't think the block's going to get
that.
broken this season. I think she's definitely going to channel this season, but it's going to be another one of those like in a fit of rage type of situations. I'm still hoping for the boat scene. Like
I would be awesome
with Lan.
With Lan?
Like maybe, hear me out. Moiraine dies.
Yeah.
And Lan hightails it to Nynaeve. And
So Morel's out.
And he arrives essentially at the time of Nynaeve's
great need.
Right. And so that's when it happens. That's
but
my guess.
where are we talking? It's got to be.
Tyr?
It's going to have to be Tyr.
Probably Tyr.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't think there? I mean, a lot of people are pissed off at Lan right now because they think he's cheating on Nynaeve, and I'm like,
he's literally just talking to her.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of ridiculous.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you can't have a conversation. So that I guess what you're saying is Morel is completely out of the picture at this point, because we haven't seen a Morel in the show, and
or casted, right?
Yeah, or cast.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, I think Morel in a lot of ways. Alana's playing the role of Morel in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So anything that Morel might have done.
Perfect segue for a question for you two.
Okay, 1 second. Really
go
quick.
ahead.
One more. Phil Knight Gaming $5 super chat. As someone with depression, I like in the show that you don't just fix it and it's all good forever, like in the books. That's a really good point.
Yep.
Yes.
Tweaking it that way makes sense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, horrible question for you guys, and I don't know if I brought this up last week, but do we think Alana will bond someone other than Rand?
Are we thinking Perrin? Is that right? Yeah. I don't know. Steve Hunting, though.
Given what she said, he goes, they're warriors. Given what she said,
she wants an army of her own.
Either that or somebody else in the Two Rivers. I don't know who the hell else, unless it's like freaking
or Baker.
Or that Baker.
I see her
with his dry bread. I was like, savage. Oh my god, what?
So mean.
It was fucked. That was kind of jacked up.
It was an awesome joke.
Oh, Malefex says, I think Alana might take Barrelane's place, so her bonding Perrin could be really interesting.
Oh, Fail is not going to have that.
That was the discussion that was had. Yeah, she bonds Perrin, then it becomes an Alana Fail fight instead of an Alana or a Barrelane Fail fight.
That's so funny too, because like one power Fail versus an Ice Die. Honestly, she could handle it.
Oh, easy.
He's got this.
No problem. That is interesting. I figured that she would bond Rand just because, like, what happens in the last battle. But, like, honestly, the Alana part in the last battle, to me, doesn't have to happen that way. It was kind of like a little meh. So
maybe they won't do it at all.
Maybe they won't do it
that
at all.
way. Just take it out of the show. I know a lot of people would be, I think, happy with that.
Yeah. Although whenever Rand gets taken in the box, she's how they find him.
Yeah. How do you do that without it? Yeah.
Unless like they have Egwene find him in the dream world or something.
I'd be okay with that. The more power you can give Egwene, the better.
The better. We're happy.
Yeah, that would be.
I was gonna say it was Nynaeve. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna. You're fine. I was gonna say that would be interesting. How would they find Rand?
Egwene in the Dream.
Egwene.
That's my biggest
That was
guess.
a great. I loved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would totally watch that.
Okay, we are. We gotta start.
Okay.
Okay, my final thoughts then.
Yes.
How about that? I'll
Yeah.
just jump in.
Let's do it.
Was about how Nynaeve's block would break. There's part of me that would just love to see it, and I love the land thing, classic, obviously from the books. But if they're going to change it, I would not mind it having to do with Matt and what's going on with Matt's brain and what he's experiencing. And he has so much faith in Nynaeve, like that. To see her step up and help him some way, and that be how her block is broken, would be really cool. So that's my final thought.
That would be really
Awesome.
cool. Somebody said like her healing him after he gets hung would be like.
Oh
it
yeah,
could
something
be
like that.
a big
Yes,
moment.
like
Yeah.
with Matt. Yeah.
Awesome. Love that final thought. Tav?
Oh, this is gonna be unpopular as shit. I
Those are the best.
I think that moment of she's coming to with Fail and Bane and Shiad. It might be the beginning of Shafail. Don't freaking hate me.
No, Chafail is like the
I know.
Wetlanders.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's.
I can't wait to see it. Great.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that would be me, honestly. If I was just like a little, random girl in the Two Rivers and I saw all these Aiel badass women walking around, I'd be like, that's me. I want to do that. So I get it.
Like the two girls that were rescued in the cage from those three powerful women right there. Karen was there too, obviously, but they were like, whoa, taken aback. So yeah.
Call me Maiden of the Spear, Wetlander, Chafail, whatever you want to call me. Yeah.
You think the Two Rivers folks are going to start dressing? Well, no, because
I'm just saying, like, if Chafail emerged, I wouldn't blame anyone.
I was just going to say, because that's just giving me fire for my theory, my crappy theory.
Your theory. Theory fire.
Okay.
Look, people say I'm right. They're crazy. No, I'm kidding.
They're crazy.
Love that. Final thought. Fell Knight Gaming $5 super chat. Alana was useless after the bonding. This gives her a reason to stay in the story other than being a tracking device for Rand. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No lie.
No lie there. Alana was really annoying in the later books. So, and tell you what, like the people, the public, the non-book readers, they love themselves some Alana. So, keeping her around is a good idea.
Love myself some Alana too.
I can't wait for
and
that.
Mascom. I love what they're doing.
For that bubble to explode.
Oh, whenever they're like, excuse me?
Yeah, I can't wait for that shit to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to have to open up therapy sessions.
We're going to have some Alana apologists. They're going to be like, but actually, it's fine.
I was under
because...
the compulsion charm.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so thank you all for being here. I am so sorry the stream seems to have been a little bit glitchy. It looks like I was dropping some frames, and I don't know why. I did update Windows today, so like... bubbles of evil. What are you gonna do? I'll take a look and see if I can change something before next week, and hopefully it'll get fixed. So if you stuck with us, I really appreciate you. I'll take a look at the stream, and if it's glitchy, I'll re-upload the recording. There won't be live chat, which will be really sad, but at least there'll be like a clean version of the stream. But if it looks good, then I won't worry about it.
I've only seen it a couple of times, like here and there, but I haven't really been paying attention over there. Hopefully it came out good.
So anyway, I appreciate you all for sticking with us. This episode was incredibly emotional for me. Towards the end, it was interesting with the Elaida plot. There was a lot going on. It was a better episode than I expected coming off of episode 4. I figured we'd get a big dip, and I don't think we really did. So yes.
No, what the?
Thank you all once again for being here, and I hope to see you next week for the Wheel and Chill show. On Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You guys are the best. We'll see you later. Bye.